Okay.
Henry County Commissioners, Henry County, Missouri, Tuesday, February 19th, 2026, 11th day of the January term of the Henry County Commission that pursuant to a term of Clayton, Missouri. Those members present were Jim Stone, Presiding Commissioner, Mark Larson, North District Commissioner, Jake Bradley, South District Commissioner, Kelly Marican, Clerk. 9 a.m. Commissioner Stone brought the meeting to order. The minutes from the Tuesday, February 17th, 2026 meeting were read. Commissioner Larson made a motion to approve the minutes. Commissioner Stone seconded the motion. Motion carried. Expenditures for the following departments were approved to pay: juror pay, employee benefits, buildings and grounds, prosecuting attorney, general county government, court administration, April election, circuit clerk, foreman, victims advocate, law enforcement, GR, road and bridge assessor, admin handling cost fund, inmate security fund, senior citizen service fund, 27th circuit treatment, family court, law enforcement restitution fund. Dennis Bowers, road bridge supervisor, attended the meeting to share bid specs for 2024 to 2026 cabin chassis truck for a welding truck at Road and Bridge. Amanda Johnson, business owner on the square, addressed the commission about the homeless issue after having attended the City of Clayton Council meeting this past Tuesday. She shared that they have cleaned up around the square since the meeting. Amanda shared that she does not believe that the old jail is a good option for the homeless shelter. She shared that Compass Corporate was in charge of trespassing former patients from their properties. Amanda brought up all the issues in Henry County in the last 20 years, including the building collapses on the square, officers being shot behind, the solar panel divide, and the fly ash contamination concern. She shared that she believes that the old jail being given away is not fair to anyone that pays taxes in the county. After researching, she believes there are two homeless populations in the area. Those who want help and those who don't. She feels the community is enabling the ones who don't want help. Mike Rosier shared he feels that these are all symptoms of a bad economy. Bruce Dewsbury shared that in defense of economic development, that the biggest issue here is infrastructure. Then he asked if we wanted to be a big city. Commissioner Larson shared that he didn't believe we need big business. We need mid-sized businesses that employ 30 to 40 people. The area is stagnant and not growing. He suggested a sit-down meeting with Compass, Golden Valley Memorial Healthcare, the City of Clayton, and the county. Clerk Merritt shared that Commissioner Bradley had called this morning and shared that he had reached out to the local branch of Compass, the regional VP for Compass, the Warrensburg branch of Compass, and Christy Maga with the City of Clayton. He is waiting on return calls. Mike brought up the old Holiday Inn building that Gary Scott demolished. Amanda stated that it was a privately owned business. Commissioner Larson shared that the area was in a floodplain. Greg Shannon, City of Clinton councilman, shared that the City of Clinton also did not like the mess out at the highway either, and that he would look into the floodplain issue. At 10 a.m., Melissa Hall, Michael Thompson, Travis Wright, and Daniel Brigman with Missouri State Parks attended the commission meeting to discuss the Katy Trail State Park. The agenda presented was to build a relationship and discuss normal operations of the Katy Trail, such as trail runs, culverts, and signs, as well as to discuss emergency response on the Katy Trail. They shared some areas where they believe some signs at the county road would be beneficial for safety. Melissa shared that she wanted to make sure the county was aware that some of the Katy Trail bridges are original and are not safe for vehicular traffic. It was explained to local law enforcement what was and was not allowed on the trail. The trail speed limit is 20 miles per hour. Class 1 and Class 3 e-bikes are allowed. E-bikes must have pedals. At 10:21 a.m., Mike Bilbrook, Captain Jack Watson, Lieutenant Litter, P.B. Leslie, Captain Rob Mills, and Sergeant Ethan Logan attended the commission meeting to share the January 2026 monthly review of the Sheriff's Office. The document discussed can be found at henrymosheriff.gov. Captain Hills provided the commission with an authorization form to sign a contract with MoDOT for the Missouri's Highway Safety Program. Commissioners reviewed and approved senior tax applications. Lucretia Gray and Jim Mayer attended the meeting to discuss the storage of the old jail and moving. They need several boxes shredded. At 11:25 a.m., Commissioner Larson made a motion to adjourn the meeting. Commissioner Stone seconded. Motion carried.
Kelly, I wasn't.
That was a windy one.
I wasn't present for
I
that.
see that.
Well, I was watching in between doctor appointments and stuff.
I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
But second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Give me a minute to catch up here. Print those out.
I took those papers to the dentist, the papers we had gotten from, Katie Crow.
Yeah.
I took them to dentist. I actually gave him the cards they gave us so we'd know who to contact.
Mm-hmm.
But he said he was gonna get hold of them, so that should be taken care of.
Good.
I was curious, Mark, was they wanting to put a sign down by your road? it on the
I think
list?
that was one of them.
Yeah.
That's a tricky little spot right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's is that a dog?
I'm not sure what that was.
Sound like somebody got goose to me.
Was it?
I don't know.
No,
You
Kelly.
never know
I
around here.
don't know. No, you don't.
Tourette's
Huh?
sound, or an autistic sound.
Never know around here.
Huh.
Something new every day.
If you guys want to add to your agenda for today, at 10 a.m., Frank Draper came in yesterday afternoon to get on the agenda.
He may or may not be here. He had 2 customers that furnaces went out. So he's going to try and make it, but not for sure if he will make it.
Who was?
Frank.
Frank.
Frank?
Draper. Mhm.
Again, we may have some other bills. Amy's got some insurance stuff she wants to make sure gets done before you guys aren't meeting Thursday.
Let's see. If there's anything she needs to send a check down to. See, yeah.
Well, it was already sent in.
I was gonna say, I think you already
guys
done.
already-
Yeah, well, I thought we did.
Mark, has anybody comment on the sound being better?
I haven't heard actually one way or the other.
I think it sounds better.
I was gonna say, if we haven't heard, it's probably a good thing.
From the old ones to the new ones,
Mm-hmm.
my wife said it's better. 7205.
That's Amy.
Commissioner's office, Jim speaking. Yep, here she is.
It's like that. Boom.
Hello.
Kelly.
Need it for this phone.
Of course.
Not bad.
No, there's just some Blake ones over in that big. Alright. Perfect. Thank you. Bye.
Not stuck.
Kelly, do you need this
Yeah.
one for Great River signed? Okay. It's the Great River.
Oh, yep.
Yarrow. Yeah.
It's the every time we make a payment, we also sign a reimbursement so we get it back.
Yes, I did have pictures printed off, because Walgreens wasn't open when they open at 9. So, as much as I like to be,
Sounds like we got
I was just talking to
bleeding
Wes.
heart here. Bleeding heart. The first time. It's on right first. Yeah, I agree.
Well, we did give them all this for sale. Yeah. Yesterday was
Here's where it is.
Happy birthday.
Just showing some folks in.
Thank you.
Hello.
How are you? Not Jim. Not Jim. My job is done. I'll see you later.
Thanks, Luke.
Have a good day.
Yes.
You know, as far as that was Bruce, I haven't seen it. Because I really don't get on the rants and raves pages. Bruce. I don't really get on the rants and raves page. So I haven't
Donnie,
seen it.
it's nice to see you. Put a face to your
I
name.
will.
I'm Jake. This is Mark. Of course, you probably know Jim, and that's Kelly.
Oh, that's fine. Hi, Kelly.
Appreciate y'all coming in this morning.
Which page was it, Bruce? Henry or Clinton?
Clinton's rents and raves. Might have been Henry County.
Are you gonna send me on Wild Goose Chase?
Yes. I'll make it work for you. I appreciate it.
That's why I don't go on them. People will send me screenshots of stuff, and I'm like, you know, that's just until you actually show up to city meetings or county meetings. you're fighting with keyboard warriors is how I honestly feel about it. So I tend to avoid them.
Okay. Yes. We ready?
Whenever you are.
Let's go ahead and we'll start with Donnie. And if you want, you've been talking.
And say I got a hold of Donnie. I'm sorry. I'm going to pronounce your last name wrong.
It's okay, it's Cook.
Cook. Okay. That's how I've been saying it, but I got corrected a few different times, so I got a little nervous of saying it. So, I contacted Donnie about the issues with the homeless. She's with Compass Health, and she's offered to come in here and kind of educate us on their process on how things have been done and going forward. So, and if you guys got any ideas or suggestions.
And if I had the solution, I would become a bazillionaire. So I'm waiting
I understand
on
that one.
to come to me. So I also brought Sandy Cutting. She is our housing liaison, and y'all know Lori Hickman. She
They do.
Oh, okay.
And say I have to apologize. No, I
That's
don't.
okay.
That's all right. I'm vice chair of the Project Homeless Board, and I'm the city administrator for the municipal court, and I'm a paying taxpayer. Concerned citizen.
Cutting, Koetting.
I knew it was going to be something.
You never spell that.
Yeah. It's easier to pronounce than probably spell.
Yeah, for sure.
I knew I was going to butcher it if I didn't ask. So, thank you.
And I thought somebody from the board, the housing board, would be helpful if there were
That's a great
specific
idea.
questions about what's happening. So that's who we have here. We at Compass Health do a myriad of things. So we have what's called the Community Psychiatric Rehab Center, which is a home-based, community-based program for adults with chronic mental illness. So when we admit them to that program, we have psychiatry, therapy, community support services that work with those adults in the community wherever they're at. And we work on housing, on living skills, on whatever they need, we help them with that. So that's one of our services. We also have a housing program that when we identify individuals in the community that are homeless and they're not in our services, we get housing involved. They work with them. I believe Sandy's met with every homeless individual in Clinton.
Probably.
Oh, not all of them?
Probably not all of them, but a good majority.
Most
Yeah.
of them, I would say. So as soon as she knows there's somebody that needs help, she meets with them and goes over options for them in whatever situation they're in. And I believe at least two of them you have gotten to housing.
Technically, there's been four.
Okay, that you've
Yeah.
helped get housing for them. We also have our substance use disorder program with similar services as our community psych program. There's groups, there's individual counseling, there's community support services. They meet with them wherever they're at, whether it's in their house or on the streets, and help them to get into whatever resources that they need. And then we have our crisis services. And our crisis services, so are you all familiar with 988? The number. So 988 is the 911 diversion number. So if somebody's in crisis, it's not a medical emergency, they're not in harm. They can call 988. They talk to one of our staff. If they're in our service area, that phone is directed to our staff. They answer the phone, and then we assess, is this a crisis that we can talk to them, or do we need to send somebody out to meet with them? 24/7, we have a mobile crisis team that will go out and meet with them wherever they're at. Police will sometimes call us, say, hey, we've got a situation here, somebody's in crisis, we need somebody to come talk to them. They'll send a staff person out to work with them. That can release law enforcement to go back and do whatever they need to do. We also have staff in the hospital, 2 kinds of staff in the hospital. They will follow up on those individuals for 6 months, make sure that they're getting the services that they need. What am I missing?
there's a lot. We have community behavioral health liaisons
Yes,
that work
CBHLs.
with like the courts, the jails, so like people coming out of that and hopefully connecting them to services. But a lot of times me and the crisis teams, the CBHLs, the crisis like caseworkers or mobile crisis clinicians, we all work together in trying to help people not fall through the cracks. And I would say like in the 4 years I've been doing it, it's getting better. It's not a perfect system. There's still a lot of things to work out, but it's definitely getting better. Like a lot of times when people are homeless, it's not half the time that they haven't tried before. It's maybe they've tried, and depending on the response they get, they might have gave up. So I work with doing a lot of outreach with people. I don't go alone. I usually go with someone on our crisis team. Someone always goes with me. And I just talk to them and see what their needs are. Some of them, like, they don't have their documents, and depending if they're born in Missouri, it takes a long time to get a birth certificate from another state right now, especially if they don't have a mailing address. I also work in several counties in our western region, so I'm always traveling, like, up and down 49, across 50, kind of working with people. So everybody's story is different. Some people, there's been like a lot of seniors recently that they have Social Security, but it's just not a whole lot of income, and they need to be connected with like an income-based housing situation. So not everybody's story is alike, and you know, there are, you know, that one or a couple homeless people that, you know, make the rest of them look really bad because, you know, they're out breaking the law and stuff. And I feel like that was probably most of the article that was in the paper was probably just one person that's causing an issue up on the square, and you know, they're all getting lumped into it.
There's three.
Yeah. Usually a couple of them.
Do we have point in time numbers? I was gonna.
So they canceled the unsheltered count for point in time.
Tell me what it is.
Point in time is basically where we do, we go out and do a survey with the homeless. I would say definitely last year, Darren had kind of headed that up for Henry County, and it was definitely better than years previous where they weren't getting identified.
Numbers.
Yeah. And then this year they canceled the unsheltered count due to various reasons, but they did still do the sheltered count, so people in like emergency shelters or like if they were at a warming center, but they won't have the data for that for at least for a few months.
Because everybody thinks the numbers are increasing exponentially. I wasn't gonna talk with that.
And they're not. I mean, a lot of times there's I'll see people go from one county to another. You know, there's always your transient that kind of move around from place to place. But most of the people that I've met out here are from here. You know, they grew up here, they have supports here, they want to stay here.
And I know that an issue that's been brought up several times is that Compass brings people in and then throws them out on the street. And I will tell you, there was a time around 20 years ago where we became non-smoking, and people would come in and they just couldn't handle it, and they would leave against medical advice. So there was a period of time, it was about a few months, we did that, and then we stopped that. We were not kicking them out. They were leaving, and then it takes sometimes, if we're not helping them find their ride home, it takes them a couple days to
So you
find
told
a
me
ride
it's all
home.
voluntary for them to.
Correct. All of our programs are voluntary except for Royal Oaks Hospital, and that's all children. So Our program over on Westmore is a Women and Children's program. That is assisting women who have children that need residential to be able to keep their children with them, or if they're pregnant, to get sober before they have a child. Those women are not leaving and staying out on the streets. Our adult program over on 1800 Community Drive, we will have somebody that leaves against medical advice, but if they're not from here, they don't stay here. They're getting back to wherever they came from. But 99% of the time, if they say we're leaving, we will help them find a ride. We will get a hold of family. We will get a hold of workers in other parts of our workers in other parts of the state that they're going back to, and they will come get them. It's just, and Sandy's met with most of the people that are homeless, and they are not post-Compass individuals. So I just wanted to make sure that we cleared that up.
I had heard that, and actually that I'll be honest with you, that's after I heard it, because I heard it from so many people, that's actually what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But then last week I talked to Sherry.
Uh-huh.
Sherry and I had a long conversation about it, and that's why, and I kind of mentioned it to you last night. Donnie, what I'd like to do is, because there's so much, I mean, everybody that's saying something thinks they actually know, and 90% of it's hearsay.
Yeah.
What I would like to do, because this is a huge issue, I mean, it really is, and I understand the people on the square, I get all that,
Absolutely.
I do. I'm of the mind, in the day and age we live in, you're never going to solve this problem. All you're going to do is the best that you can do
Right.
with what you've been served. But in saying that, I do believe that the public needs to be educated. Not just, I mean, you come up here and talk to us, that's great, and whoever's listening, but that doesn't include everybody else. So I have actually talked to, and actually I got to get back in touch with them, but there's a number of people from the city. I talked to
Michael?
Yeah, Michael and I, because actually Michael and I kind of put this together. But Sherry and Rob, to see if what we couldn't do is have like a public forum. And love to have you. I haven't seen you forever.
I know.
But get you people to come and sit at a table, invite the public, and let's instead of everybody throwing this and that out there, let's get the facts and then see if we can, as the county and as the city and as you guys, come up with something that's going to benefit, come alongside you guys instead of fighting with you. You know, I know Darren, we went and sat and talked to Darren for about 2 hours. I had never, other than what Darren came in here and talked to us, I didn't know him from Adam. After listening to him and the success that he has had, personally, and I know this is just me, I'm of the mindset that, like I said, it's not going away. So if people do continue to come here, you've got to have an outlet of some way. And the outlet shouldn't just be, let's ship them over here, let's help them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now there's people that, and everybody needs to understand, there's people here that don't want the help. There are people here that this is just their lifestyle, whether it is because they've lived like that for so long, this is what they think is the way to do. You know, the people with the mental health issues, you guys are obviously, because from what I've heard, you guys are doing great with that. But we need an outlet, and we need an outlet that's going to work. So, like I said, after listening to what Darren has done, I know that he said something about 4 people they had housed already, found them jobs, and they're not just like funky jobs, they're good paying jobs. So these people have turned their lives around. I think it would do all of us a whole lot of good for everyone to hear you guys, to hear Rob and Sherry. You know, let the city voice their opinions of what what they're thinking, what they're seeing, because they may be thinking, like some other people, it's hearsay. It's hearsay. And until you get the facts in front of you, now, and I'll just be brutally honest, if the facts were saying, you guys aren't doing what you need to be, then I'm going to go the other way. But for me, I want all the information that I can get, and the only way we're going to get that is to get it straight from the people that are dealing with this situation. Not, you see some guy out here, he's the jerk in the group. Well, yeah,
Right.
And the other thing is people have to understand, like down here with Darren, I've seen how he does. It's like, think of the Army.
Mm-hmm.
It's very regimented, which is what they need because they have to put discipline back in their lives. So what he's doing, I just hate the thought of him getting blamed for somebody out here that's not even a part of that group.
Yeah.
And that's the way it needs to be looked at. So if you guys are willing to come, I've told you and I need to talk about.
Yeah, and I had things I want to talk about with the same thing.
Yeah. So
actually compare and compile.
Right.
So
Reach out.
the only thing that I want, we will absolutely participate in that if that goes forward. But I do want to warn you, I guess, and predict maybe the people that need to hear it won't be there. And you're going to have 90% that want to know, and then 5 to 10% who are just going to be there to
Be
stir.
angry.
Sure.
And so a
What
lot
about
of times a town hall like that will bring more problems than solutions. So just I caution because
Trust me.
if I may add into that, instead of being a town hall meeting part, why don't we do, if y'all would be interested, Compass, the city. Go ahead.
I'm not representing the city of Clinton.
I know
that is
you're
my
with
daytime job. But can I make one clarification, even though I said I wasn't going to speak?
no, we want you to speak.
Yeah, please.
Darren is our chairman. Darren's an integral part of our board. Darren is not the only individual. 2 years we've been working on Project Homeless Clinton. There are 8 members of that board.
Right.
We've allowed Darren to speak because he's been invited. It's always on a Thursday when I'm not available. There are 70-some volunteers. We have 8 board members and community partners that work with us. 2 years we've been working on this, trying to come up with a solution. I love the fact that Darren is getting the credit, but I wish you wouldn't refer to it in that way. Because personalities aside, we're 8 people, some people like us, some people don't. It's Project Homeless. And many people have been putting in countless hours and a lot of time. And we appreciate you sitting down with Darren. But I would rather be recognized as Project Homeless.
That's what I was going to try to do, is have a meeting with
We do.
Compass, Golden Valley Health, Project Homeless,
They all come to our
us,
meeting.
and business owners around the concerning area.
You need to get the city involved. Because
Well,
the city
I think I
city
said
is sort of
city. If I didn't, I meant to say
Yes,
city.
I mean, there are other people who represent the city. I'm not that.
Right. No, you're fine.
I represent the Gordy Hickman. And some days that's a struggle.
It wasn't,
So-
I know that feeling. Not for Lawyer Hickman, but for me.
Yeah, well, but thank you for
it wasn't so
helping
much
us.
of action, just so you know.
I
It wasn't so much of
I just don't want to call it by his name.
right.
And nothing against Darren.
No.
It's just, I want people to know we've been working on this. It's been since the Sims mapping.
Yeah.
We have, people have been meeting, and thank you.
Is it March
Mr.
11th?
Yes. Wednesday at 9 a.m. First Baptist Church. We have open meeting, and our community partners show up. People show up. Rob Hill shows up very often. We have a lot of people. And we would love the help. You guys got answers for this problem? Bring it on. Because we've got a plan. We're just not there yet.
And I've been telling the business owners that we need to work with you guys as well. So I'm hoping
Our
everybody on
hearts
our
are
side
broken for
be
what has happened to
there
the
on March
community.
11th.
I mean, it's as a board, it just makes me want to sit down and cry because it doesn't help our purpose. It doesn't help us at all.
It wasn't so much of putting the good on Darren as it was
I understand.
we are dealing with that building,
I
which
do,
is Darren, which means
Which
we
is
have
us.
got to
Yeah.
which
yeah,
is us.
yeah.
And we are aware of your concerns and everything. And, you know, you got to do what you got to do. And you'll weigh all the pros and cons and you'll look at this thing. I just want you to know that we're not going to be a warming center. It's going to be a different type of facility. And Darren
Right.
probably made that abundantly clear.
Right.
Oh, his presentation was excellent.
Yeah.
He's very good at that.
Yeah.
He speaks much better than I do. But I just want it recognized that there's a lot of people working on it.
Lori, if I may, can you give me do you meet a certain Wednesday every month?
The second Wednesday of each month, 9 a.m., First Baptist Church.
I think it's 202.
I'm not giving a room number.
They may have moved that.
Every month.
And I appreciate that, but I think they may have been, but that's a big room, so we do meet there.
But that's what I'm proposing is not so much full on community. And no offense to them, but like you said, Donnie, things can kind of get blown out of proportion pretty quick. And I think the ones that need to talk are the city, Outreach Homeless, Clinton,
Project Homeless.
Project Homeless, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're going to know it so well by the end of this time.
Well, you would have
Yeah,
thought
you're
as
right.
much. I would have already had it memorized, but and then
Essentially, that's where the
Compass.
problem is.
in us.
It's right around here.
At this
We really
moment,
messing with the square.
at this moment,
But I think we kind of got to alleviate it off of the square. Fingers crossed. But right now, Frankie, I think everybody has seen him this morning because he's out on the corner.
Yeah.
He is extremely upset with the county, and I've tried to explain to him multiple times the county did not kick you out of the woods. Conservation kicked you out of the woods. He just wants to go back to the woods. He just wants to go and be back in the woods. And I'd like to get your information because there is a couple. He's going to the library every day and working on getting his CDL, but they don't have housing.
That's Justin. That's
Is
not
that the
Frankie.
one they call? No, that's what I'm saying. There's another couple. Is
It's
that the one they call
Justin.
Beetle?
Their last name is Beetle.
Okay.
I don't want to say their names necessarily,
Yeah.
but that's Justin and Ashley.
Okay, so yeah, she's waiting on her social security. They just don't have housing. And they are the ones that are in the back of the alleyway. And the biggest concern being back in that alleyway, it is very dark and trash trucks back in there. So they are back there by the dumpsters and they don't see them in the dark hours. Then that creates a whole nother situation. But my understanding is Frank Draper is going to get them moved to another location that is not on the square. But that corner, I don't know how to help or how to solve that solution. I don't know what solution. He's extremely infuriated. He said that he was going to do some things to the courthouse. And like I said, between Frank Draper and I yesterday, we literally spent our whole day working with these people, finding different things for them. And as of right now, he is not going to do what he said he was going to do. We haven't.
He has a family member. He can say
And
what.
he, yeah, we all know he does
He
not
chooses
want,
not
he chooses
to.
not to.
And so those are the people Sandy talked about that will choose not to leave the streets.
I'm sure that his family has some requirements of him.
Well,
yes,
they're lenient. I mean, they're really, really lenient.
But
he says
choosing
it
not
feels
to.
like jail.
Yeah.
So,
And that's and his point was he was I want to be back in the woods. It's where he wants to be, and his mindset is he's not leaving the square and he's not leaving that corner. And like I said, we at least got him not to do what he said he was going to do. I don't know how long we can keep him from
The corner that he's on, is the business willing to charge with trespassing?
It's public property. The bench is public. The sidewalk is public.
Gotcha.
they're aware.
And the officers in, CPDs, they're very tired of coming over and dealing with them. And so I try not to involve them as much as I can. I try and sit and have conversations. I've offered them all trash bags to put their belongings in, boxes to put them in, rides to go somewhere. Like I said, I think we found a temporary solution for the biggest issue. But like I said, I think that's temporary, and I'd like to get with you to maybe help those other ones. But the other ones that are with that group, they were along with that one out in the woods, and they blatantly made it clear they just want to be in the woods and left alone.
and they've been trespassed. So in previous years, they were less visible and they were in locations that they can no longer go to. And everybody knows those locations back behind Dollar General. And the Curve, Price Lane, those woods there, they were there for a time. There were individuals had them in their yards, and we can't have that as a city. And they were, we've worked on this. This isn't a problem that showed up this year. It showed up on the square this year. And my heart does break for everyone involved here. But I'm telling you, we've been working on this for a long time. So we trespass them from these places. And if we don't come up with a solution to get them off the streets, the ones that are willing, I mean, don't tell me to bus them somewhere, because buses work both ways.
Right.
And I know that happens in some communities, but let me tell you, they'll bring them back. I mean, and some of those individuals are from other counties. She's absolutely right, where they wore their welcome out. And
I wish Sarah with Main Street was here, because I think it would be great to have you guys have a meeting with Main Street and get all of us.
So I'm meeting with Sarah later this week.
So,
Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
I met with Sarah yesterday morning, and
Yeah, and I seen her yesterday morning too.
her concerns are all the same as everybody else's.
Sure. You were saying something. I don't know if you finished saying what you were saying.
Sorry.
Oh, it's hard telling. Yeah, it's hard telling.
And I asked Celia Harmon to join us, and I wasn't invited, so I didn't invite her. I mean, she's uninvited.
Oh, you're always invited.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Celia is the heart and soul of the warming center. She has many titles, many jobs, but she is the reason that we can, on the coldest of nights, bring people off the streets. And let me tell you, when they're in there with us, they're not on the streets raising havoc, and we're just trying to keep them alive. That's all we're doing. We're not Project Homeless. We are
The Henry County Emergency Warming Center.
Yeah.
And we don't open until it's 20 degrees or below, which some people think is incredibly cruel. But it's finding volunteers. We just completed our 28th night so far this year, 6 days because of the temperature. Last year we were, just off the top of my head, like 35 or 36 days or nights, 11 days. We've serviced over, I was just looking to see the number, but I think we're up to over like 35 individual guests this year. For housing, for food, et cetera, et cetera. When they are with us, there's been some individuals that when they've been there for 24 hours, it just transforms them into someone else, into the human beings that God created them to be, because they've been cared for, they're talked to, they have a meal, they have a place to sleep. And if we can create a place, I don't even know that in my heart of hearts, I'm not sure at all that it should be close to downtown.
Right.
Someplace else in this community that we can provide services for them, not just at night, but during the day. So Compass and Golden Valley can come and help them so that they can get classes from Door of Hope and other organizations on how to be in community, how to hold a job, how to manage your finances, et cetera, then I will tell you, we will not get all of them back into community, but we will get a significant portion of them back into community. We have one lady that has been trying for months. She is on disability, low income, but disability. She has been trying for months to find housing and cannot. And it's just,
That's the other issue. We don't have the low
Yeah,
income housing.
it just breaks your heart, because she's like, I manage my budget, I do what I can, and yet she's got a past, right? But she has money to pay for a place, and she is a different individual now than when she did that. So the opportunity for us as a community, because everybody cares, everybody's passionate for the most part. Some are like, get rid of them. But if we can work together to find the right location with the right solutions, then I think that makes us a stronger, better community. I have over 150 volunteers on the rolls that are passionate and interested in helping. people make meals out of their own budget and bring them when we are open. We don't pay for any of that. And so I think there's people in this community that will help make something like that happen if we can find the right location for that.
And to that end, it got cold. We had nowhere to go. We started calling folks. We were calling people with vacant buildings, saying, "Could we temporarily have? We're homeless, and could we temporarily house our people there?" People stopped taking our phone calls. Nobody, except the nice lady who owns that building on Main Street. She opened her doors. She didn't charge us anything. She just opened her doors. We didn't choose to bring them. And by the way, there are other factors that are keeping them in this area. But I'm not going to get into all of that. But somebody said yes. And so we got to keep them warm. That's
She's
it.
not
We didn't
charging us.
choose it.
She pays for the electricity.
I know. It's crazy. She's
Well, I'd like to
good.
state I appreciate everything you all do. I mean, it doesn't go unnoticed by any means. But I do have a question. Do they have a tendency of following the warming shelters? And it seems like, I'm not trying to be hateful,
There
but when
might
that
be like a
warming
few
shelter,
that aren't from here that probably dropped in. Because we had one of our CBHLs that had went, or the mobile crisis clinicians that went to the warming shelter. And there were a few of them that weren't like originally from this area, but not the majority.
Some of them are released from jail. Some of them
Sometimes.
are released from healthcare. We've had people being brought from the emergency
From the
room,
hospital. Yes.
from the hospital,
We had a
from
gentleman
treatment.
taken off the road by the highway patrol and brought to us because the weather conditions were horrific. We had a young lady who was brought to Clinton by someone, and her small child
On a bus.
were dropped, and we housed her and we took care of her and her small child until she found someone who was willing to come and pick her up. We've had domestic violence victims show up. I'm telling you, they're not all the individuals sitting on the benches that you see out there. We've been fortunate enough to help lots of folks.
that's wonderful.
But are they following us? Maybe, but no, because I'll caution you, if we don't figure out something. So everybody's heard this story from me. My husband and I were up in the city. He was over by Independence Center, and he came back because I was shopping, and he said, "Lori, there's a tent city over there." He goes, "You would not believe it," because he doesn't get out much. And so I was like, "Well, I hope you loaded a few of them up so we can take them to Clinton," because everybody's saying we're bringing them to Clinton. We're not bringing people to Clinton. I'm telling you, if we don't deal with it somehow, we will have tent cities, and they will not put themselves conveniently where we want them. So, that's sorry.
Just for clarification, if somebody makes a meal and brings it, will you guys turn it away? Because I know that was one thing. They're like, "Well, I offered to bring food," and the warming center said no. But I know there's more than there's always
Exactly. Because people have been very generous. We got to manage it, and I think that's a part of why when they're not at the warming center they stay is because people in Clinton are very generous,
Yes.
and they will give them money, they will give them food, etc.
We have a
So-
coordinator for
So we have a person that coordinates. Right now, I've got 6 meals in the freezer, and so the next few times that we are open, we will use the frozen meals because it's almost March, and so hopefully the emergency part of this
We
will
don't
be
have to.
over.
I don't
So
know.
that's
I don't think we
bring
do.
desserts and breakfast. We need that.
That's right. They like that, and things they can take with them when they leave that they can carry, because they can't carry full meals.
That's why if they've been told we don't need it right now.
Right.
like I said, I know there's rants and raves pages.
Right.
I get screenshots and bits and pieces. Like Bruce asked me if I seen some. I don't typically get on there because
Everybody sends them to me. I don't get on there, but people screenshot and send me
Right.
stuff, which is so much fun. It's called confirmation bias. You will find whatever is out there to support your bias. And I'm sorry, whether you're pro or con or what have you, we could talk till we're blue in the face, and at the end of the day, they're going to believe what they want to believe.
Right. I mean, I wanted to clarify so I could pass that on to some of those that have asked. Instead of bringing a meal, grab an 18-pack box of, lunchbox for grabbing a box of donuts that they can hand out like a snack pack or
Bottled
something.
water.
That they could,
We go through a lot of bottled water. They will never turn down a baked good.
Exactly.
But we're not open. Right now it's gonna be warm, so we won't be open for a while.
But they have nowhere to get mail, nowhere to shower, nowhere to
That's
do
right.
their laundry. So
To go to the
how are they
bathroom.
supposed to do all the things to improve their life? Who wants to hire someone who smells and
I hope I caught you.
doesn't know what time it is because they don't have a phone?
Right.
They love it when we take them to the Benson Center for showers and when we go to laundry, so that they can wash their clothes, etc. So our volunteers provide that transportation to take them. We're fortunate we have the Benson Center for them to be able to shower. So that is important to them. They would use it if we had it in the facility. Absolutely.
Well, I talked to Golden Valley Medical about Torch Grant, or not Torch Grant, but the Torch program.
Right.
And yes, and they're willing to help with the resources of buildings and everything you guys have just mentioned.
We just have to find a building.
That's
They come to every one of our meetings. They have partners. They have at least 2 or 3 people every time. They are very supportive. We just have to find a building, identify our needs, and then apply.
right.
so what about the old Hannah Banana? That whole strip mall is empty. Is there a possibility of getting?
I don't think it's usable.
It's in disrepair is what I've heard. But
all of it.
It's been sitting empty since we were in it, back when I started 33
Well, I know
years
Hannah
ago,
Bananas had remodeled, and I know
That-
that section
that
was. So I
section is-
didn't know, because I mean that is like a perfect spot almost because they've got all of the resources right there. Everything that they need is essentially right
location.
there.
Amanda, if I may.
Yeah.
Person I talked to yesterday at Golden Valley,
Mhm.
they've called numerous times. The last time was about a month ago. They're not interested in selling.
What about renting?
I didn't ask them about renting. I didn't ask that.
They let the guy in the wheelchair stay out front, but he's not there anymore, and he just needed help getting a ward letter, and that's all he needed to get housed.
And thank you.
thank you, Sandy.
Yes,
Him and his
thank
daughter
you.
both.
Does Barry Glasscock have anything over by Everyday Fitness? Well, I don't know if that's Everyday Fitness.
Well, feel free to look into it and feel free to shoot
Fine.
us anything that you find and we're open to everything.
I mean, I know I have my big building, but all my main level is already used. The only thing I
you're
would
too
have
close
is
to the square.
I'm too
aren't
close to the square, but even for the warming center, the upstairs, that is an ADA issue to get people even up there.
We
Because when you
have
guys were looking, I was going to offer, but once again, not everybody can go up those amounts
Yeah,
of
we've had
stairs.
3 gentlemen in
I was
wheelchairs
surprised
this
when
year.
they
Yeah,
decided.
so I knew there were several of them, so I was like, well, there's no point in making the phone call because that defeats the purpose. But I would drive around today.
We have a lot of things to consider as we look for a building.
Mhm.
Is renting an option?
We don't know yet. We're working on it. So, but again, find anything out you can and bring it to our meeting and we will listen. I promise you. I wish we had answers for you guys. I really do.
Wish we had better solutions for y'all.
Mhm. Solutions are good.
But I'm with Mark getting together and having a meeting with everybody to educate and talk and hash it out would be a pretty good idea. So
You're on your way.
Yes.
All right. Unless you guys have any questions, I'm gonna go back to my pesky day job.
There, you did a good job for that.
I know, right?
I thought you did an excellent job. All of y'all did an excellent
Thank y'all for coming in.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for coming in.
You bet,
We
absolutely.
really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
questions, don't hesitate. I'll give you my business card.
Oh, let me give you mine.
Yeah. He's living up by Leighton. He's got 2 babies.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
She told me that.
She wants another one.
Thank you. Let me know if you can do anything.
Yeah, thank you.
Step out.
Okay, awesome, thank you. It's good to know some of these.
Here's one of my business.
Here, and I'll give you guys some money too.
Yeah, and you can call her anytime if there's somebody that she needs to visit with.
Okay, man, that's wonderful.
I'm always happy to come out and meet with them wherever they're at.
Dude, you're gonna wind up
Yeah,
busting your hump
Oh,
on that
they're
thing.
gonna bring
We put it back.
hammer and nail.
They're probably gonna have to take something for it.
Real.
Well, the little air nail guns, I bet you they just shoot straight through down onto the. Look at you and your flip flops. Oh my
It's
gosh.
gonna be over 50 today, right?
I
I would live my life barefoot if the world would accept me that way.
It's a little chilly.
Alright, yes.
Oh, I've yet to catch hypothermia yet, and I've lived my life this way all my life.
In the summer, I'm like you. Socks and shoes, I don't. They're foreign language, so.
Okay. Let's see what we got
I'm gonna run these. Do you know if Frank's coming?
I would say he's probably not since he's not here because I've texted him and he hasn't answered. So I'm assuming he is working on.
I'm gonna run these checks down and see if she has any more ready to go. I'll be right back. Go check in and see who's filed for this. I filed for this.
You about freaking hit it.
Yeah, it's not.
You need a sign there.
You're awful quiet, Mark.
Oh, yeah.
We need two more like you up there.
I don't know. There's a lot of people tend to disagree with you on that.
Really? Find out here in a minute.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
How are you today?
Well, we'll find out. Like I told Mark, we'll find out. They can use what comes on here.
What's that?
The guy is hung around pretty good. Or the council.
Oh, Mike? Mike's running for the Union Commission right now. And Amanda's running. I don't know. There's Ken Wilson. Yeah. There's somebody else.
Miles Worsig, but
Heard her name over the 3 acres.
as of right now, I think I don't know what Miles is doing. I don't know if he is or not. I'm not sure. I've heard rumors, but I'm not gonna spread the rumors.
Oh, there he is. I was getting ready to call.
No, I just stepped down and went downstairs and went to see if Amy and them had anything for me.
Yeah, get Jake back in here.
And Kelly.
Yeah.
You're missing Kelly.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Boy, that's sad that Christian County lost 2 officers.
Yes, it is.
What's that? Oh,
Christian
Christian
County.
Christian County.
Yeah, next week is Ryan Morton's 8 years. The 8 years next
On Thursday?
Yeah, that was
Probably
a big,
about that long.
Next Friday, it'll be 8 years
Yeah.
of Ryan.
it was a big selling point for us moving here. Those two
Well, that,
killings happened just before we moved here.
you just got out
Yeah.
of
So that
school. Playing training. Yeah.
Right.
July.
Mm-hmm. That's a bad deal.
Hmm.
So I imagine our Leo guys around here are feeling a little, getting pretty close to home.
Mhm.
With the other one just being, the anniversary being a week away.
How's things going out there?
And they're going. Getting ready to start putting in a bunch of culverts next week.
Mhm. Got several of them.
The county don't, but over there in that Windsor Special for the city of Windsor, we're getting ready to put in 25 to 30.
Boy,
Really?
bunch of 'em.
And then Mike Briggs, he called this morning with a couple he needs me to order in for him.
Hmm.
Then we got one up in Bogart Township.
Tell her that. Jake's still there.
He said, I'll be there in just a minute. When I was walking up there. Amy's working on a couple bills to get up here before you guys leave, so you're not allowed to adjourn until she gets those back.
She's got more.
Did you figure out who called you last night, Mark?
I did. You're the one I had.
It wasn't me.
Was his phone number?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then it had to be him, wasn't it?
Oh, I did talk to what Dr. Scott came in about.
Yeah, or
I called that Josh, and he said
yeah.
they had it under
Yeah,
control.
that's I talked to. Well, Dennis, he came by, and he told me, so I called Ken, told him. it's all handled because that's the way they've already done it.
Yeah, apparently they only go halfway
Yeah,
across that
that's
bridge.
right.
And so he said Warsaw, he said they'll go around,
Yeah,
if not
pick it
Warsaw
up.
will pick it up.
Well, see, Warsaw Fire Protection
I knew.
District comes all the way up to Snyder's Corner.
Yeah,
on
that's
this.
right. So all they gotta do is go down. Are you back? Yeah.
Physically.
I already got it.
Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Jake, we're out there taking care of that culvert on Southeast 971 today.
Okay.
I found your 2 fence posts the guy complained about. We're going to fix them this afternoon also.
There's a broken strand of wire too. You may want to.
I seen it. It's right
Okay.
there where one of the fence posts is. We're going to start next week, Kelly, in Windsor Special in the city of Windsor. We got probably 25 to 30 culverts to replace for them. And then we have a culvert in Bogard Township to replace. And then we'll be caught up again on culverts until we get these ones ordered in that I have to order in from Mike Briggs and Windsor Special. Otherwise, we're moving along on things. You got anything for me, Mark?
Nope.
Jake, you got anything for me?
Not a blue so.
Jim, I'm gonna come down this afternoon probably with Rodney and
Pick up the pallets.
and pick up them pallets, so
Yeah.
we'll have them out there for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you got for me?
No. Yeah.
Kelly, have you heard anything from Lucretia?
I have not heard about a time from Lucretia.
Okay.
I will get with her after this meeting and then I will call you and let you know.
That'll work. That's all I have.
Okay.
No bills for me this week.
Do it.
No bills for me this week.
I'll bring them in this afternoon.
We're not,
I-
we're not meeting Thursday, so,
Well, none of them's pressing anyway.
okay.
I've been waiting for VBrock to send their corrected bill.
So the one that I have waiting on you is incorrect and I
Yes.
can discuss.
Yeah, they
He would have to fix
they
it.
got it
It was the wrong.
used the bid price. They can't use their metric number.
Right?
Bid price is about $50 cheaper.
Yeah, he called
All
the
right, sounds good. Thank you.
Friday.
Yeah.
I'll let you know as soon as I know something from Lucretia.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Charlie?
Have you been out to 1101 road?
Not recently.
You better go out there because I'm getting tired of running through mud. They're putting hundreds of gallons of water on that road and there's no base going on down. They're filling in the ditches with those big trucks running overloaded. They're putting mud in, dirt in places to make areas where they can drive on. Now you need
For
whistles.
crossing.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
What's going to happen when that rains?
And you know just as well
They
as I
put
do, it's going to flood
a
out.
place in there before you get to Division Road. The whistle is too high. They got the gravel clear out in the middle of the road. At night or in snow, what you're going to do? Ramp. That's no way to put a whistle in. They're
Well-
doing whatever they want. So have you talked to them about stuff?
Yeah, actually, I went on a site ride just Friday, wasn't it? Yeah.
So you okay with 1101 road?
Did we
A
didn't
little
go
bit of
down
dust
one
won't hurt.
We didn't
Mud
go
is
down
different.
No, we didn't. But I'll run out there after this, and then I'll talk to Alan, and we'll get it straightened out.
So who's going to fix the ditches and stuff when they're finished?
They are.
They are.
You're right. So how long we got to wait before they're done tearing up the road, and I got to run through mud?
I'll see if we can't get them to fix it
The
sooner.
dust is better, but there's one character that don't like dust. I'll have dust before I would mud.
That's
I'm paying
understandable.
taxes for a road, not a mud pit.
That's fair enough. See if we can't get some rock.
And I'll
Uh,
put a
hauled
bid
out
in,
there.
or I'll put a bill in for brush hogging and blading my road too.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, my Division Road, it goes down there, you all gave part of it to me and part of it to them.
Uh-huh.
They don't do any brush hogging. They don't take care of the road. I'm gonna put a bid in and make you pay for doing the brush hogging. Cause he didn't do the brush hogging but once last year. And that was when everything was dead.
You're talking about Dennis's crew, right?
No, I'm talking about Ted's crew.
Ted's crew.
He's supposed to brush hog the right of ways, right?
No.
We brush hogged it twice last year.
Okay.
Down to our point that we stopped.
I'm not here to argue. I'm just telling you, I'm going to send a bill in. And that road is terrible.
I'll run down it too. Thank you. That does remind me. I don't know. What do you say?
What was it?
Something about Rome.
I think you want to talk to you.
Huh? Wrong end.
Oh, no. That's
We brush hogged it twice last year, I know.
okay.
Down to our point that we stopped.
Right.
And I know Ted bladed it at least twice last year down to the point.
Okay.
Because he backs down there, blades out, because he can't get a turnaround spot down there.
Okay. Speaking of the blade, I talked to Ben yesterday, and he's drawing up the contract. So it won't be too much longer. Oh.
That's what you said last time. Sorry, I'm just gonna be the one
Well, I
that said
actually-
out loud.
I actually went in there and seen it, so I went with what he told me the last time, that it wouldn't be much longer, and that's exactly what I got told yesterday. But I actually seen where he wrote it down.
Oh, you seen him?
Yeah, the first time it was a phone call. The second time I was in there. So I mean, I can
Oh,
only
yeah.
do it as fast as the attorney gets it done.
Mark your calendar a month from now.
Mark it down.
I appreciate you calling me out there.
Hey, I just
Marriott.
said what was on his face and on his face and on his face.
Well, it was on my face too, but I was really hoping y'all wouldn't call me out. That's okay. But yeah. When it gets done,
You got it down on your
it's being worked on.
That's your story every week, Jake. I'll stick to it too.
At least it's consistent, right?
There you go.
He's consistent with it.
If you guys ain't got nothing else, I'm out of here.
All right.
You guys will be back Tuesday, right? You're just missing the Thursday meeting. Yes. And you'll be out of the office.
Guess I should have said there's just no news for it.
Huh?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Is that your conference?
Yeah.
Actually, probably back Friday afternoon. So,
Okay.
'cause usually we're out there about 11, 12.
10 to 2.
12. Yeah.
There's something for a something. I don't know. I might have already said this before.
If you need something, call.
Yeah, I think we signed it. We signed it.
10 to 2 is mandatory signing.
Yeah. Dang sure don't want to miss that.
No. Gets pricey.
Huh?
It gets pricey.
Yeah, it does.
I have a question, guys.
Yep.
So the old jail, what is the status of that? Because it is zoned I-1, and if it is given to Project Homeless, they're gonna have a hard time getting it rezoned for what they're wanting to, because they will have to mail letters out to so many blocks around it, and then it has to go to planning and zoning, and then it has to go to public safety. And Public Works, thank you. I don't think it will, no. I don't think there's enough business owners that will say, yay, we agree, and we think we can rezone that.
Too. I never even thought about it. If that's what the zone is.
Yeah, it's
They'll have to
I-1.
change the zone.
Will it have to change? the
Yes,
zone?
it will.
Huh?
I talked to Chuck Bailey yesterday,
Yeah.
it'll have to be
Yeah.
changed. And not only that, I don't know if Mark or Matt or Chuck has been in that building to go through it and say, this and this and this needs to be
Marquez.
addressed
Yeah.
to bring it up to code. But like I said, their biggest challenge is gonna be rezoning. And that's where I think they're gonna hit a big brick wall.
Yeah.
I wonder if the board of directors for Project Homeless here actually know that.
I don't know, but I have to go over to the city, so I will.
You might
Put
let
that-
Lori know whenever you go over there.
Yeah, I'll put that bug in her ear. I'm assuming she would know because she was over there when Chuck and Frank were all talking about what somebody wanted to do to the courthouse. And
Gotcha.
Mr. Draper's resolution to it, and it, yeah. So I would say she probably know that because Chuck was there when that conversation. I'll
Well,
put the
she's
bug
a
in
court
her-
administrator, so she may not have gotten that word.
Well, because I know she was over there when Frank Draper was over there talking about. Because I know Chuck Bailey was there, and I think Chrissy Magner was there. Don't hold me to. I just know they were all in know about the situation from yesterday.
Yeah.
And they
But-
need to be, I'll tell you what, the other people probably, dang sure better be talking to, we're gonna be gone next Friday, cause that's at 10 o'clock. About the meeting on all the lights and all them. going
Oh, you're
out.
talking about
And
this,
then the
right?
speakers, to put plug-ins and all that in with what we're doing. And
I think the plugins need to go.
they're gonna have to be, better be somewhere, and that's some of the things that need to be talked about, because then you're gonna have them camped out right there on site. Oh, well.
And that's an
Now
issue.
that'll be on us, Sam.
Yeah, then it would be on you guys, but I
It'll be
do
on
know that
Third
is an issue over on 2nd Street.
Yeah.
There in front of Compass, there is an outlet
Yes.
on the light
That's
pole,
one of their,
and that's where
We already have outlets everywhere.
Well, let's not let them know. No, just kidding.
Well,
Oh, they already know.
they already
Yeah.
know.
Are they moving the outlets, or are they gonna leave the outlets in the poles where they're at when they rewire them?
yeah, and I think they're not hot right now.
I don't know if they really made up their mind.
It won't be a good way to move them all up
Yeah.
high.
But is that are those lights? Do they have power all the time?
The lights got
Oh
that,
yeah,
but
because they turn on.
I'm not for sure whether the plugs
Yeah, they are.
are they? Okay.
Probably runs off the same.
Probably.
That doesn't mean that the new ones will.
Right.
Yeah. It maybe
They
that
could-
would be a good question to
That'd
ask
be
if they could
something
put
they
the
could
plugs
do.
on a separate breaker and they're only turned on when there's as needed.
Gotcha.
So
See,
that
I think
way-
that meeting's this
That would
Friday.
be.
Yeah, it's Friday at
Correct.
10 o'clock.
Yeah. You said next
We-
Friday.
it was-
If you start putting plugins outlets way up high.
Well, and then Old Dirty Days is gonna have
people are
things,
trying to,
yeah.
yeah, so.
Is that Clinton Cruz that's having that meeting Friday, or is
Yep. Clinton Cruz.
Probably on Main Street too.
It's, yeah, it's
Or actually though, is Clinton, that's who
it's a
called.
whole group of.
And
all
but anyway, the
entities
guy's supposed to be
involved in
that's doing
this.
all the electrical. He's supposed to be there.
Where
And
is-
that's what they're doing.
is that meeting?
Where's your meeting, Jim?
It's gonna be a chamber. What they told me.
What time?
10 o'clock, wasn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, 10 o'clock. Cause I was on this class Friday. I was over there. There wasn't nobody there.
Better early than late.
All
Alright,
That's early.
I said I'm already in trouble because I won't be being tested.
I will.
We don't have a choice.
I'm leaving Friday,
To
but
come invite you.
I'll be in town still, so I'll run over there, or I'll run over and put a bug
They need to know what
in David Lee's ear.
told.
Bill Toll or Gary Mount, either one are also very involved in this, probably more so than
Well,
I was gonna say
Friday.
Gary Mount would probably be the one to, because he's the one that drew up plans
Yeah.
and.
Gary's the one that hollered at me out at the Civic Center. He come out there walking one morning.
Oh yeah.
That's why I knew it was about
So I
Friday.
think our last
Oh,
meeting
no, as
Friday
last,
starts.
last Friday, I was going nowhere to go. I was ready. And there wasn't nobody there.
So I think our last meeting starts at 10 o'clock on Friday.
I'll run over there Friday. I'll try
Okay. See what they,
and
main
see
thing is,
just,
they need to know what's going on.
yeah.
Well, they know it. Whether
Yeah.
they, of course, they knew a lot of things. They just
We just
don't
gotta
always
decide
get
on
through.
how
I
we want
think
it
they
done.
were addressing some of that in their,
Yeah.
this stuff.
I'll put the bug.
Oh yeah,
Addressed in
I
this
like the
meeting.
idea about running a separate line and killing. You know, having
I
a
think
switch
that'd
to
be
shut it
easier.
down.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of kids can
You
stay.
defeat the purpose of having it.
Cause we was replacing Well, we've actually had it way worse than this. We was replacing electrical outlets,
Well,
cover
that home is
boxes,
still, it's gotta,
because
if they're
and
even
that's
gonna
been
try to make something work,
years
they're gonna have to
since
get
I've
out
been
there
here, we've
where.
been doing that because people are
Well,
using the outlets.
No,
That's
I
the
get
thing.
that.
there's enough people
Well,
out there
heck no,
that's
I mean,
a little that they're
Right.
concerned about the same thing we're
Can I come
concerned
and run
about,
mine?
and they're looking around for
Just
other
run a larger
areas too.
building.
That's
'Cause
why
it's gonna be,
things
the bad
lower.
thing, it will bring people.
I am gonna drive around today and look and see what buildings not on the
Yeah.
square might be out there.
My concern when she said that the building out by Hannah Bananas was not well maintained, or however she said that.
Yeah.
I was really curious if they've even been inside the jail.
I can't answer that.
Darren said he met Mark over there, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and they walked
Okay.
because
Yeah.
Mark was telling him what needed to be taken care of. Some of that though falls underneath historical, so you actually don't have to do it. But
I was just out of
Well,
curiosity if she thought that building was in too bad of shape. If
Yeah.
she if she was aware of what even the building looks like before we even, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not before we made
Cause
hard,
roofs are not,
controversial decisions. I
in
think
bad
the
shape
board should
over
probably
there.
walk through the building to see if they're
we
even
just
in
fix
good
like
shape.
this,
Well,
that's all we done.
and also my understanding also
Right.
is, I believe it can't just be given away. It has to go out to bid process, the old jail. It can't just be given to them.
It can be.
It
Yeah.
can be.
It can be.
biggest thing,
The biggest thing is gonna be rezoning. And
yeah.
getting
Well,
approval.
I never thought of that side of it.
Because it's I-1.
We need to be very careful because you put it on cameras that we were giving this away.
And that's
That is a
taxpayer owned.
verbal contract.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can be sued for it. So that's, I mean, it is what it is. But the zoning may be an issue. I mean,
Yeah, that might
you're
be
right, it
very
may
valid.
be a deciding factor.
I would say that probably is because I mean, your businesses around there are not going to.
Mm.
What
they're
would
not
be
going-
zone 2 though?
I believe
Mhm.
I mean, what would be
C1
zoned?
or C3.
I don't know.
3 is what?
I don't know anything about
Would it be
zoning, so
C3?
Well,
I mean, because it's not residential.
I think C1 is general, isn't it?
yeah.
So I would say probably go to C. One of them is you can have overnight stays.
Businesses is C3.
Then I think would it be
Okay.
C1 then maybe?
I think.
But like I said, they have to mail out a letter to every owner within a certain
Yeah.
radius.
Right.
And then it has to go to planning and zoning and then to public works. And I think once it goes to the owners, that's exactly, it'll stop there.
And we had to do
I
that
don't think it'll,
when I bought that building out there.
Oh yeah.
They were rezoned, yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to be negative or anything, but I honestly truly believe
See,
that,
we tried to buy a building out there across from where Jim Rasix was years ago
Mm-hmm.
for the cat plant. Well, the cat plant, we had to have a C1 or industrial.
Right.
IT, it's called IT. And anyway, the townspeople said, no, it'd be too noisy. So it was off the bid.
yeah, 'cause I think that's where it'll die is the zoning.
Hmm.
Because I know I did talk to one, well, I know probably 3 business owners that will say no, and 2 of them are pretty big.
Say I'm all for helping, but
The square is not the place for it.
yeah, concerns me.
That's why I said I'm more than happy to drive around and see what. I mean, they might just have to rent something, but then it goes down to zoning as well. And when you have to go and rezone something, that's a process. And I don't.
What do you think the homeless shelters would be zoned at?
C1, I think. Let me have to check.
Just I don't know what Clinton's classifications are, but just a quick Google search
Yeah.
says it's public or residential. A homeless shelter is considered public or residential, not commercial. Not that it matters to me, we just have me questioning.
Lincoln.
I'm sure they have their ordinances on there. I know they do.
They do.
Yeah, they're online.
A1's agriculture. 1-1 is restricted industrial districts, and I2 is light, I3 is
I don't
heavy.
think it's going to be under.
Single family is R1. That's a single family. R1 manufactured houses.
I don't think it's. I think it's.
But then also you have to, that building falls in the historic district too, so I'm not for sure if the zoning,
Plays a part.
correct, because the historical zoning does change some ordinances and zoning issues.
Well, here,
So-
let's see what it is.
I mean, I'm not trying to be negative or, I just, instead of having everybody having their hopes and their hearts set on that, I don't think they thought about the zoning issue. And I don't know, should the county decide to give that to them, would it be a possibility of selling that and they take that proceeds to purchase something else?
Something else.
Or, use that money and put it down, as a rental deposit. And the only reason I bring up Hannah Bananas is because I know just 3 years ago it was in there, it was inspected, it passed inspections. That could be an easy 90-day, get some walls up, get some beds in there. By
Across from
DP.
the hospital.
But then again, I don't know what it's
By-
zoned either. Because that could become another issue over there too. Because the residents around there,
Well, I don't know if it's a BP anymore. It's a
they changed it to something.
yeah.
It's by the old Aldi's where the
Okay.
ambulance bay is.
Yeah.
It's when you're going towards 13, if you look over to the left, you'll see like the old ordering speaker drive-through thingy.
It's the one that's got all the glass on the
Right.
corners.
But once again, that goes back to the zoning issue. I'm not quite for sure what it's zoned at, and if that.
Say I've got the
So Chuck said it depends
But on
on the
the
number
phone,
of
I got the
occupants and a few
address.
other things.
for that exact same purpose.
And he had it all figured out at one time. So I will ask him if he can
Okay.
kind of figure that out again.
I see that the person, the
Really doesn't
people that's in
matter
charge
to
of that
us, it
torch
won't matter to them.
program,
Right.
at the
Well,
hospital,
and
they told me last
when you
night.
find that zoning,
Got
if
funds.
when you look at the map, then you go,
That
okay,
we
this
can
area's
put
gonna be,
towards
this is like an
a
off limits.
building.
It's not gonna, it's not gonna work over there.
But it's finding one for sale that's appropriate.
So I asked Chuck if he could find out exactly what
That's
zoning, because there's no
Saying
point
we would
in
do-
trying to find them
do that
somewhere if, the
hold it away,
residents.
Well, if they can't get it.
And I'm dealing with a zoning issue with Chuck right now.
Well, and I,
Zoning would be the
is it 1,000 feet
What?
I'm just
of the
I
radius
just, my
on
concern
that?
is the home, the
I know it's not a mile.
right
No,
here is
I don't know.
here.
It's gonna be
Because I
pretty
think they
local.
kind of followed it. And
Anybody else?
I
have?
don't know, like
Not yet.
Warrensburg got full. So, Warrensburg here, they had, I know, holes first. They were on their way to spring.
Yeah, I bet that
Where's
was
the
me.
jail?
Ground and got kicked off the bus.
Well, and I didn't even think about it until I started thinking about, the warming shelter
Where's
when they
the-
had to go for
where's the
cycle
square?
green. It being zoned,
Let's see, here's one.
and that was brought up as an issue.
It was
Like,
maybe different because it was jail, though. I mean, it was obviously an overnight.
right? I asked Chuck if he says I-1,
Where's Washington?
and it would have to be re. And I think
Industrial too.
right, and since the occupancy is being changed to
Across
something
this road.
different than the jail, that's where it would have to be rezoned.
Washington,
Here's Washington.
that's probably the square right there.
Yep. that's
I'm just
square.
curious. I am.
So the jail would be right here.
I am just curious.
Right there.
So,
Yeah,
Chuck
I would
said
like
he's
that.
gonna do some checking on zoning, and every business within 185 feet would have to be, or resident, you have to ask and petition.
I want
To change the zoning.
I don't know what that
It'll
would
be
means.
see here you got, here's your different residential. It's gotta be R1s and R2 multifamily. Manufactured housing is R2.
Very interesting thought process.
Somebody's pointed out the old Hannah Bananas over there. You've got the college and the Wetzel Clinic over there. So with the kids, any sexual offender, that kind of throws that one out the window. But it's 185 feet. So from that building, every building that's within 185 feet, they would have to get a letter. And
It's gonna be the same way anywhere.
yeah, no, it won't fly because I mean, you would be in there, Jim. I'd be in there. Mr. Rasick, Mr. Smith, the bar.
Some vacant ground.
It was a building.
Well,
It used to be.
The Zenith Firework
I've
Building.
seen Greg Smith
Oh,
yesterday.
Carnage, yeah.
Was able to make it here today.
Yeah.
But I know he would.
No.
That's in the fenced-in backyard.
Yeah,
don't
and the
know
only
what
thing
it
with that thing would be the pricing to purchase the old Carney's building. I think it would not be in their budget.
Well, somebody
don't know
said it's rented.
It is. So in the back, not the whole thing is rented. I do know there's a company in the back that rents that back dock area. But I believe there is a sign that says X amount of dollars per a square foot. So I'm going to work on making a list, and on March 11th when they have their meeting, take it to them. And
Is that when they're having the next one?
over at the Baptist Church at 9 a.m. But Chuck is going to look in and see what the commercial zoning would have for that.
Still be healing.
Because that's going to be something to take in consideration. Because if it has to be rezoned, anything 185 feet, then landowners will have to be notified.
And that's anywhere.
That's
Yeah.
anywhere. Anytime you have to have anything rezoned, you're going to have it, and then it has to go to Public Works and to Planning and Zoning.
You don't think it should be R3?
Chuck said he's looking
Talks
into it.
about nursing homes. Up to 24.
Okay, let me ask him.
Section B, item number 3.
What did you say? R3?
Yeah, R3, section B, item 3 is got nursing and adult care homes.
Hold on.
Housing.
So section B. And what?
3. Up to 24 residents, 1 acre minimum.
See, and then that runs into another issue there.
Well, you could get a variance
Yeah.
and come to my county.
Carnage building would already have a sprinkler system in it.
But like I said, once again, you have to go and get it rezoned, and I don't think that's zoned for any R. I believe that is going to be a C1 or C3. I don't have the Kelly. You saw that map pulled
That
up.
would area be easier to get rezoned as opposed to any of the others, I would imagine.
Well, you have the thing with the Carneys too is you have that event center right there. Was it 1311 events? You have the animal shelter. You have the school bus barn. Back behind that.
Well,
you
they'd have
have-
somebody to walk the dog. Gotta look at the bright side.
Yeah, that would be great. You know what? They could do some community service over there and walk the dogs. I bet that makes the animal shelter extremely happy to have dog walkers.
That's right.
Kind of have to think about those businesses and those residents that are 185 feet. If they're going to actually be okay with that, because that's where they're going to stall out is the 185 foot rule. If the residents, you know.
Could be R4 too.
The what? That's gonna be an expensive one.
Well, that is, we're looking for empty buildings.
Yeah.
The old Aldi's
I just
building.
Over there. And
Towards-
then,
Well, that's close to their home.
but
I
they're willing
know.
to help out.
They can just go right out their back doors.
It's also got to fit like what they was wanting, some classrooms and stuff like that.
Where was you looking for? I've got the map.
The old Carnies
Which
over there by Powell's off of Fry's.
What's that?
I think no matter what, anything in those areas, it's gonna have to be reclassed, like Bruce said, to an R3 or an R4. So when you have to start rezoning, that's gonna be a whole nother
Is it on
battle.
Rides in Washington or Rides in Maine? It's on
Washington.
Washington.
Yeah.
It's A1.
So yeah, because it's down there just far enough. So it's agriculture, so it'd have to be,
Hang on, it's agriculture.
yeah.
Well, you wouldn't have the head count density in under A1. You'd need, you can't put a nursing home on A1.
No.
Did they change that? I bet they did when it went vacant. I should say, because that seems.
Yeah.
So if it's Rides,
I would take either R3 or R4.
yeah,
What's Powell's?
I2.
I do. Yeah, because I bet you they had to get it changed
I
from
remember
ag.
too.
And so then
Well,
they just,
I2. The taxes would be this expensive, maybe change it to agriculture.
well, when
There's one little spot, and I'm assuming it's probably the bus barn that's in I-1 right there.
I bet it is too.
But even the Zenith properties, A1.
The R4 doesn't have
It's just
any
a
lot
cutout.
size.
That's the I3.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That's where the biggest hurdle I think is gonna be
The
now.
R4 doesn't seem to have any lot size requirement.
No lot size. So it needs to be
R3 had
a lot size.
Had a lot
So it need to
size.
go as R4.
High density multifamily.
unless I'm missing it. It'd either go under nursing homes again or rooming houses, boarding.
Let me do these.
It'd probably be boarding house.
What you got, Kelly?
Okay,
There's no
so here's the one that Scott came up and talked to you about. I have no idea what it is.
requirements for that.
This is a renewal application, and it's just, we need a question answered because this is a first time thing and we're unsure of how this is happening. When I say we, the collector's office. The wife was not 62 at the time of application.
I got the same issue. I've already talked about it.
She will turn 62 in 2026. She did apply at the same time because they said, go ahead and apply. How are we handling these? Is she added to the existing app? What year is frozen for her? If he passes because she wasn't eligible the same time he was.
If you don't,
So you guys should think about this.
Well, the deed's probably both their names.
right, Scott and I talked about this actually this morning. And I'm actually, same thing as Wendy turned 62. Probably wouldn't like me telling people that, but I'm going to say personally, I think the way it should be is when you originally filled it out, if their name is on there with it, then it should just roll into the existing one. If their name is not on it, then they're going to have to refile. Problem with that is that puts you up to the
Next level.
next year.
Well, the second applicant did not qualify
Right.
at the same time, so they wouldn't qualify. She would have, and no
Only
offense,
one
I'm
can
not-
qualify, right?
That's what
Wendy
I'm
would
saying.
never have qualified for
Right.
2024.
Right, right.
So if something was to happen to you, she wasn't a qualified applicant in
No.
2024.
Well, if the husband died and she inherited the house, she would get a title change.
Right.
That kicks her.
That there is a
Possibly.
change
Well,
of
They don't
status.
always
Did you-
change it. Yeah,
When
they
did
don't
you-
always change
You'd have to
Huh?
change the time.
Mark, when did you file your
Mine was early,
trust?
before
Before what?
before we filled all that out.
it. So regardless of all
Well,
of
yeah,
that, regardless of what kind of
She's
deed
on
it
the
was, regardless of if your name
Yeah.
changed,
But I'm talking about when did you file your trust?
regardless of any of that,
Because see, I kicked us out.
we need
at
to,
24.
the rule needs to
25.
apply to everybody.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of trust or,
Yeah, but you never sent everything back.
Huh?
You sent everything back to where they would get 24.
I think it just needs to be who's on the title.
You get 24.
Did
It's
I?
on the deed.
I didn't think I did.
As long as they're eligible on the
I
other
think
accounts,
we rolled
age,
everything
and
back.
living.
We did.
24.
But that's the thing,
Come on.
she
And
wasn't.
I don't
Whoever
care how
was-
we do
But
it.
he
Whatever
was.
can, like I told
So
Scott, let's do this
qualification comes from him, not her.
easy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that,
If she's not
well,
eligible,
need for, I'll
still
check
not
into that.
eligible, then she's kicked out.
So I don't care. Like,
Because it was
I don't
under
care
him,
how-
not her.
Whatever's good. My thought is whatever's easiest.
It needs to be consistent, because this is
Consistent.
just the
Right.
first one that they've
And
got,
there's going to be a bunch.
and there's
Prior
gonna
to
be a
his
lot.
death, Then she could roll it, I think.
Chuck came back and said R3 or R4 is what it would need to go
See,
under.
'cause
Yeah, I figured it'd be
if
R4.
it's in a trust,
Probably R4.
the trust
R4 would be better because it
doesn't
doesn't have
change.
requirements.
My name would come off of the trust. The trust still.
See, it's refiled.
Kind of hard to figure.
Where they hung me was it's refiled. That's what Rick had told me that.
You wrote the rules, man.
I don't, but Rick said no.
You can't write the rules and then break the rules.
I wasn't.
You
we're
hung
just-
yourself, Jim.
Well, Mark was just talking about, I knew Mark had the same issue I did. My 24,
Right.
our names all stayed the same. All we done was
Put it in the
Put
trust.
change it.
trust.
So then it's a
We've
title.
been
change.
talking about it. We finally jumped in and done it.
Yeah.
Well, I said the same thing. I said, well,
And you
usually
said
when
it.
somebody dies, that, you know, there's a change on the deed, because now we've got to put it in a kid's name, or if there's just one. So that would automatically
Right.
reset that.
Yeah.
But when he said you would actually be surprised how many people don't, or that there is a trust already in
Yeah, the
place,
trust thing goes
so that
on.
deed's not going to
No,
change.
no one changed.
And they just want solid,
Right.
this is how we're handling these, because changing it case by case is not fair or the right way to do it. So they just need, because it's coming.
Have you guys reached out to other counties to see how they handle it?
Everybody's handling it differently.
differently.
There
No,
are
They're all over. That's a-
100
that's a trouble.
counties, and nobody is doing it the same.
That's the problem we got.
Yeah,
Oh, dear.
Yeah. Well, you know, when they did that, what they should have done was, if you're a township county, and kind of set the guidelines and said, you know, township counties need to act this way and regular counties need to do, you know, gave you guys some guidance, but that's not always a realistic thing with the government.
Don't hold your
I
breath.
like Bruce's idea a long time ago. Well,
Yeah,
I've come up with
I'm
pay
good
the
with that
people
too.
that need it.
Well, if you look,
And it's already in
when
place.
you, at the rule, and I'm just throwing this out there,
All right.
If they would just,
you must qualify when you apply.
It's just a deed.
if they just do it the California way.
And she
just
did
a
not
one
qualify when she applied.
Well, this guy,
I don't know nothing about that one, Judge. That was brought up without me.
My personal opinion is
oh,
that means there would be a change. It's going to go to the year that she's
this one,
eligible.
All right.
The
decided it was
rule
all right.
is when you are eligible to, your application.
Right.
This
She was not
Stevens-
eligible for 2024.
I mean, that's the
I
whole
mean,
point
that's
of
the way my brain reads it, but
She's eligible when she's eligible.
when she's eligible,
Yeah.
the year she turns up, and if
Mark
something happens to him,
Stevens is
No,
okay.
she turned
Yeah.
eligible
Yeah.
age while he was.
Now, do I stand it today?
that's the
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Well, then
As far as I'm
she's,
concerned, I have to.
she's part of that.
Well, we don't know when they stamped it originally, so
And there's no use.
I don't think
Sure.
it's
But
going
she
to matter.
wasn't,
Her name's on the deed.
she wasn't eligible at the time she applied, so
No.
does she need to apply
Oh,
to, you know, to,
but she was
No,
on
it's
that
the same.
deed.
right, but she
Well, I
wasn't
would say-
eligible when she
I
applied.
say it rolls. I would favor that in that specific situation.
Those are the decisions you guys have to make.
If she wasn't eligible and she applied,
He
all she
died
done is
before
20
she was
years old. And everything stayed the same.
She's stuck.
Does that make her qualify for her husband's 24 for the rest of her life?
Was it in
No.
the trust?
I don't know. I'm
If it was, I would say
If we're talking about this
If it's in the
we don't have
trust,
to trust.
Yeah,
But if not in the trust,
then it would
no,
be.
because the trust,
Well, unless
you're
you're
a part of the trust, but the trust.
Trust don't want to look at names.
unless you're changing trustees. Like,
She could be a trustee,
looking at like my
a
dad's
trustee
the
of
only trustee
both
of his
sides.
trust.
I'm not
But
even
he
looking
had-
at
they-
it from a trust point of view, I'm looking at it
Yeah,
from an
but he
application
Did I
and
survive?
the
The trust
Right.
I care less about a
Right.
trust.
Let's say for
Just the trust and owns the property.
the trust is a
Right.
completely
But
different question,
if it's-
if you ask me,
they only
Yes.
have one
than what's been
trustee,
asked
or
here.
Yes.
Maybe they have multiple, but you're not.
And for a
one.
trust, I mean,
If you're not one of them,
Then
then
you're screwed.
I think we probably ought to
Yeah.
consult the attorney, to be honest with you, about that, because clearly
Oh, just
not
show-
everybody's on the same page.
Right.
The trust,
Shut
the
it.
trust
Take it
is
from
not
what I agree with.
Because I don't know trust very well, but with this one here,
So here's the thing, they come in to apply when we first, just hypothetically, throwing some things at you guys. They come in to apply, the husband and wife, and they said, well, she's not eligible. And we said, well, then she doesn't need to fill it out.
we shouldn't have said that.
But we didn't know at that time,
I say
But we
everybody was
shouldn't have
learning
said
at
that.
that time, and it's
you know, same thing with when they was telling people, well, if it's in a trust this way, and then you guys said, well, that should have been done that way. Those people didn't apply. Now what? Like the one we had the other day. So, you know,
Red flag.
Maybe an
obviously we
amendment.
don't want to penalize anybody for anything.
Maybe an amendment needs to be made to the resolution.
we better figure out what amendment.
I just gonna say,
Yeah, Sarah, when you
If
speak
that's the
first,
case, we better make sure we amend that. We think of everything else that we need.
Yeah.
So we
Don't
don't-
we have to amend it every
that's what I
little bit?
said, you don't wanna have to do it for every circumstance.
Exactly.
You need to write down every possible circumstance instead of trying to
I want to talk about it.
bash it around in your head. It needs to write down every scenario.
Because
and
in
figure out a solution
reality,
for each one.
she wasn't
Well, I know,
eligible for a 2024 freeze.
Ours, because I know Rick
Her
told me
husband was.
I wouldn't
If
be
he
eligible
dies,
for the 20.
She still wasn't eligible for a
Because
2024 freeze.
I know
Susan,
one thing.
when I
If I
put
was
that-
her husband,
when
I would be
both our
mad if y'all
names
was trying
on
to kill me
everything,
off.
We're both eligible. But when I put it down and he sent the trust paper over and I have all my pages for the trust, then it was refiled. That's the reason why it's set.
But this is
Well,
not
yeah,
trust
you-
anything
you-
related.
Yeah,
agree.
This is just a question of eligibility.
Yeah, these two are in a-
See, I
I
did
did
yours.
trust.
before I did.
Yeah.
That was the difference. Before I ever
Applied.
applied, my trust was done. Because I remember I kept telling you.
Well, yeah, but see, I've applied yet. But I haven't applied yet, but I applied and it was changed in 25. That's when the files hit. And I thought that's when yours did.
Mine
25.
was quite a
That
well.
was mine that changed to 25.
Yeah, mine was out in front.
So I
Was
don't-
it in 25 when you put it out?
Good Lord, I'd have to see the paperwork. I honestly, whatever I did it in time.
Okay.
But
That's why I was.
once you get going, what I kept telling you.
But see, I had mine all complete then.
That's the
Just
question.
what I was talking
So,
about.
because you
And
weren't eligible.
Because
And
they
it's on
filed
the
it
applicant, not
and they done it.
the
But
property.
then my name and everything,
So then
all
it
they
would be
done
no.
was just add the trust card.
It would be a no, because
Because
the
you
guy
were
is with
eligible.
them,
Mhm.
whether it's in a trust or not, because you have to retire.
You know
What
what?
y'all want to do about?
That's what I,
That's
Let's hang tight on that. We're going to be around
No, I see that. No.
that's what I was trying to
a bunch of
explain.
people that's worked
Yeah.
on them. Let's
So then
let's feel out the situation.
She wasn't eligible for
Okay.
2024.
Don't you
So then-
think? I mean,
So is it?
there's no need to hurry up and jump into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going.
Then,
Don't-
so say I turn 62,
Right,
I
right.
qualify
For 26.
for
yeah.
26.
And maybe we
Or
can get
you've
a
already
solid answer.
done the
or at least
application, so
direction.
you would get your
Yes.
read at 26.
In my trust, because my name is on it.
Yeah.
But if my husband died and he got it, but I don't turn 62 until 27, then
Don't be
I don't
afraid.
get 26.
Well,
rate
work
then.
it out.
Because you weren't eligible in 26.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
Because I don't like.
That's the way I
No,
see
no,
it.
no, I'm not.
You're bringing up another.
That is.
I just wanted. This is the one I showed you the other day, and asked that you guys reconsider approving this guy. There's pretty good reason we did it by mail, and I know where it's at. So
Oh,
if it comes
that's
back
what
up
we
to
did
you,
first.
Was notarized in
Yep, yep.
Platte County.
this one's good.
Jim,
Yeah, he works in enough. It's an odd situation. So if this comes back up to you guys, it's Michael Boyer. his name, if you guys would
You
reconsider.
can just allow them to approve it.
Yeah,
now.
we can prove it now. I already, I
How-
saw it.
Put this
How do
one
I
in
do
the file,
that then?
Kate.
Just hand,
So we can
just
back
send it over to Jim.
Okay.
He'll
We're
hash
gonna
it
talk
out.
some of them
Talk
that
to some people
See,
down there. That's a
Yep.
great idea.
Yeah.
they see in the mail.
Yeah.
Jim,
I
this
would-
one here is
That's the
the
one that
fact.
screwed up.
Well,
No.
listen, Jim.
Tell him, Luke.
Took me 2 weeks to get this guy. His circumstances just odd, and I did go back out and talk to him a couple more times. But other than me going out on a Saturday evening, it's going to be hard for me to get more. Yeah,
Pretty sure he works up there. in-
Claycoma. is what
Yeah.
yeah. But he's got some really nice cars parked around his place. He's got a Corvette over there, a Stingray. So I was really happy about that. And I told him over the
Trip is
phone.
worth
He
it?
goes, yeah. Anyway, if you guys would approve that one or reconsider
What it is
Oh, I know.
it's already been notarized.
Yeah.
Oh, it has?
Oh, yeah, I've already done it. Flip it over for it. I did everything I could.
The reason you denied it was because it was mailed in, and we
Which-
have a
They got it
have a
notarized on the
I
plat
understand.
county.
rule.
Oh,
that
it's just where
you
he-
have to-
Oh, that was the only reason.
Yeah. But
Listen, I was going to go get a selfie with the guy holding his ID and give it back to you. So
That was the day Kelly found out.
Stamp it.
I think it's good. I mean,
he's fine. He lives there.
it's a strange
He's a car
circumstance, you know.
Yeah, it was. And
You can give that one back to Luke. He brought it up.
in the future,
Give it to,
so can I give it to Rick?
If you bring this up,
oh, if you don't need it.
I'll give it to Rick.
Well, I've got other ones I've got to read.
Oh, gotcha. That's the only one I had. I
Thanks,
appreciate you guys considering.
you got the one to keep.
Changing your mind on that one.
Appreciate
I'll try not
you.
to
Dan.
mail anything to anybody anymore.
Yeah. Well, this one was just
in
a
a
strange
way,
circumstance.
though, I mean, you either trust a notary or you don't.
Fair enough point.
You see what I mean? If you're going to have a mail restriction, what's the point of the notary? You know, so
we hashed this out one other time with Rick up here, but
and
I think
that's
it's been over a
understand.
year ago.
Renewals are probably not going to go through you guys,
Right.
you know. So I know the initials, all initials probably will,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, we just
No,
did we just did a training with Ulrich down there on the software. Boy, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
So they all said it's going to be handy.
Oh,
Gonna make life
no,
easier.
no doubt, no doubt. It's pretty cool. That guy put a lot of time into the program.
Good deal. And it's tested in other places already.
2 counties.
Yes.
We're not the guinea pigs.
We're not the guinea pigs. I'll leave you guys alone. I appreciate
All right.
it. Thanks, Luke. Kindly.
Bye.
So we're gonna hold out on this one. You guys are gonna ask around, kind of see what everybody else
Yep.
is kind of
Mhm.
doing, just to, and that's just one of the circumstances, you know. I guess the big question is eligibility date on those.
Yes, on that one. And then the other big question would be with trust, a trust.
How does that change though if you're not eligible? I think the eligibility date is the question. I don't think trusts play into that eligibility date.
See, the reason I changed my title, the deed to the house, because I realized my wife was not on it. She was eligible, but she wasn't on the deed. I had to put her on the deed. That bumped me out of 24 because I made a change.
That's your
So
that's your
thinking
reason.
along those lines, the lady's husband, he was eligible when they applied. She was not. She was too young. He dies. She's now old enough to qualify. Her date starts then.
Yeah.
The
For
day
the
of
25.
she's
Not
On the year.
back there.
On the
No.
year that she's eligible.
Because that was the same thing I went through, very similar to it.
Because you ineligible then.
Right, because she's not eligible.
Right. Well, in my case, my wife wasn't eligible because
No.
she wasn't on the deed. If I had
Right.
to let it go,
You're still kicking.
If she
The
would've
difference
been on-
is you're still.
Yeah.
if she would have been on the deed,
and not eligible.
but she's on the deed, and you file it underneath a trust. At that point, yes, he's qualifying, but he's qualifying for the trust
Yeah.
in reality.
Well,
But
if
he
If he
has-
does, it's the trust
if he
that's getting
passes-
the
The
If he
trust
passes,
doesn't
though,
apply,
then
though,
the
the person
trust
does.
can't
She-
qualify.
If he
Yeah.
passes, then she has to reapply when she becomes eligible.
See, everybody has a different
See, but
viewpoint
that-
of it.
Seems like
Because
the
the
trust.
trust-
Well, you just
because
have
the
to,
trust
own
isn't-
the house.
you have to stick to the main.
Yeah, but the
So
trust,
you're getting a. You're
Well, how
getting
can you give a
benefit.
tax break
I was
to
gonna
a
say, you're
trust?
gonna have to, the
Yeah.
Same way
rule
you
is,
give,
you have to,
Chapter 100 or something.
Okay.
I mean, it's the same exact principle behind it. Because if you, all you have, the way we've got it set up, you have to have basically a vested interest in it. That was the biggest
Sure.
key issue that we missed when we originally redid it again. So, like I said, you're on the deed, that marks off that one. You put it in a trust. You still have a vested interest in it. You're still making payments for it. But now you don't actually own that. The trusts own it. So, I mean, in reality, yes, I'll use me. I'm getting the tax break for the trust, which that tax break also includes whoever is in that trust. So if there's somebody in that trust that is 62, they're going to get it too.
I don't see it
Seems
that
like
way.
a cheat code.
Because
you
I
have to
see it
apply
as,
for the-
you have to be a
apply.
senior who is 62, not a trust. You know, that's not a qualification to apply for the senior tax rate. You know what I mean? You have to be
But
this.
aren't you piggybacking on
You
to the
have to-
first step? I mean, to whoever qualifies,
Not anymore.
you're piggybacking on.
See, that just seems like a way to
Husband and wife.
break the
his wife
system, if
doesn't.
you ask me.
Yeah, I don't, that's why we're having these conversations.
Yeah, yeah.
we just-
Great
I mean, I
conversation.
don't care one way or the other.
Everybody
'Cause I
sees
can
it
see it
different.
both
So-
ways,
Yeah.
actually.
Well, so when you did your paperwork, did you apply Mark Larson's trust, Mark Larson on behalf of the trust filed for the tax freeze? Because then if you pass away, then it would have to be the Mark Larson trust, and then your wife is applying for it.
Well,
Because you no longer have a vested interest in it because you are no longer.
again, here we are killing everybody off.
Well, I mean, sorry, Mark, I'm not trying to kill you off, but you see what I'm saying? Because we didn't apply.
Already, okay? I've had 2 times now.
My question is, it's on there, if you're listed as a tenant on your trust, no longer around, you're no longer a tenant. Does that qualify a change?
That would be a change.
And with the trust, me not knowing trust very well,
Well, you wouldn't
You
know.
want to know something
Because-
about a trust? I just went through this.
You want what you
well,
want. No.
educate me.
If you're originally on it,
My dad had a trust, Dewsbury Family Trust. Me and my mom were on it. She was left on it. So I had to have a death certificate for her. to
Yeah,
prove she's
you
not
did.
there. And I had to have a defunct power of attorney to show that I used
Yep.
to have that. But when my dad passed, even though he added me as a trustee, current, not one waiting for him to die, but a current trustee, he had done the trust in his own social security number,
Then it goes under the
which I'd
new.
like to shoot the lawyer who allowed him to do that. Should never be done. When he died, that social security number ceased to exist. I had to file for an EIN and go through all of that. Even though I was a trustee on the trust, it didn't matter. So the whole thing, the whole trust changed. It became its own entity with its own EIN. So I don't know how you guys have set it
Well,
up, but
Mine had to have an EIN number.
well, that's the
I
better
had
way to do
my,
it.
Yes.
my parents and Lynn's
Don't do it
mom and
with your
dad and
personal
then my
social
aunt.
security
I had to deal with all of them,
But see, it's still
and
within
all
the
of them
trust.
was in a trust. It was
That-
the
that's the
simplest thing that
difference.
ever happened.
It's no longer in
The
the
fact
trust.
that I was
Right,
on
you
that
just
trust
closed down.
didn't matter. I
Right.
had to
Yeah,
get an
sure.
EIN, and I'm kind of equating this with a person who's in a trust. They don't qualify, but someone else in the trust qualifies. When that person dies, using the same reasoning, that trust needs to reapply again,
Because it's a change in.
just like I had to get an EIN number. That's the way I would kind of look at it.
I
So
get
that's the whole purpose of
everybody
having to
has
change
different opinions.
deal in there. So 20 years from now, you're not still stuck at 24 because you know there's going to be a change at some point in time. That's how I see it.
Or if you get
Not saying it's
divorced,
proper,
you know, that's
but
And in the end,
You will,
the trust is paying
Well,
anyway.
if it goes that
Yeah,
way,
because you're the-
especially
you
if
can't-
was not,
right.
You can't
if you
keep
were
the
on
trust.
with somebody that was over 62 and your wife was on it, then you would not want to reapply. Or I'll use like mine, like with Wendy. Wendy would not want to apply for it because if she did, I would go back to 26 as opposed to 24. So basically, if that's the case, if that's the way this works, then if you're on, if you've got this set up and both of you applied, but only one was over the age, then you don't want to reapply when you turn 62. What you want to do is reapply
when
when
the
the
change
other
of the
one
trust.
dies.
Exactly. Yes.
I mean,
That,
basically, because otherwise you lose what you had. You may gain a little bit
Mhm.
because you don't. I mean,
but that's how I
don't
you just
know.
explained. I think that hits the nail on the head. Is so if you know, this year she doesn't qualify. Like AJ and I, there's 10 years between us. So I mean, for 10 years he's gonna be along me no matter what. So like you and Wendy, she shouldn't apply until there's a change in that trust.
right,
Because you're gonna keep the lowest.
right,
The lowest.
No.
And that's how it should. I don't know, not my theory, not my. Anytime when that trust changes, because you, Mark Larson, are filing every year and reapplying for Mark Larson's trust.
Right.
But if Mark Larson and when he got divorced, we're not gonna kill anybody, we'll just divorce everybody. That's a change in your trust. So then if she stayed in that trust, then she would lose that until she became of age, and then Mark Larson,
this is worked
Wendy
up.
filing on behalf of that trust would have to apply.
Right.
I feel like that's
Go ahead.
probably like the
Yeah,
most straight cut,
I'm game for that.
narrow line, and then she wouldn't apply until that trust changed.
This horse can't run
I think
anything.
you have to remember your three rules. You got 62, vested interest, since you aren't going as strict as pure ownership. So
And
vested
live-in.
interest, and then you got to live in it. You apply those three rules to everything. Who's the vested interest in the trust situation? The trust. Who's 62? One of the trustees. And that trustee has to live in that house. So if that trustee dies and the other trustees either aren't of age or don't live in the house, the trust is out as far as the freeze. You just stick to your three rules. You just need to change who's the vested interest. Is it a person like me
Yeah.
with my own home, or is it a trust? And then
Scott was watching.
how is that trust qualified?
I mean, your vested
You got it, bud.
Everybody
Huh?
has an interest.
It does.
I said
In
I
the trust
answered my own
I get
question.
vested interest would that would be the person living in it
Did you
that is
do that?
62.
Well, not necessarily. That's why I wouldn't qualify if I didn't
All
live
right,
there.
go.
I could
And
have
these
the
are
We're
the
not
questions
dealing.
that
Doesn't say you have to live it.
we
So the
probably
three
should have
rules are
worked out
62
before we started
vested
doing
interest
this.
and living in it. Well, then
Because
that's the way they need to do it. Even if it isn't a trust,
Someone's husband died. I've heard that before.
then there's a change.
It was good, though. I like that.
they were asking,
they
do
have
I
to
put my wife on
She's
there?
not
She's
on
not up
trust.
for
Right.
that.
Trust would still have to
Now
reapply
they
because
don't
that
put
that
to
vested
work.
interest
Yeah,
is
you
no
might as
longer
well.
held.
They all have
And then
change, so they should be able to be added to it at any time. I mean, that's how I feel.
Right,
It doesn't change the deed.
right.
Or
But in
ownership.
actuality, they don't need to be added on to it because if you get the way we're talking about it, it's going to be, she wouldn't even file for it until something happens to me. Because if she files for it now, we would go back, I'd lose the 24 and go to 26.
No, I don't. As long as she was an owner then and she's an owner now,
but she wasn't eligible then.
Yeah.
She wasn't eligible in 2024.
but we're signing up tons of people who aren't eligible yet.
That's where the problem is. That's where we're trying to figure out what we're doing.
It's
She
kind
can
of
apply all she wants, but if she's not eligible,
But
like
and
my
she-
situation.
But the only time that she would not be eligible, let's just say she's 60. He dies, now.
Now we've killed him off again. We
This is
we
the
got
third time I've gone.
He's got till they're done.
She's 61. Correct. And there's a she doesn't qualify, it's done. And she would have to take a step up in basis. But if that's why we did it, so that we would have all that information and they wouldn't have to do it if something happened to him and she did qualify. Like next year, she's 62, it would automatically.
We don't all agree with that because she did not qualify for 2024 tax freeze. If he was at 24, because she didn't qualify, she didn't turn 62 till 2027. And he died in 2026.
Well, I thought you had to refile every year.
Yeah.
For that reason.
No, you have to
reapply.
refile every year. Somebody does for that trust. If that person's dead, another person's gonna have to file.
And she didn't qualify until
Right.
this year, so it's gonna.
There's where the
start
difference
to
is,
start.
because you're gone. She can't just say, "Well, I'm not going to file this year," because he was already there. I wasn't 62 yet. I'm going to ride there. No, he's dead and gone, buried. Maybe burned up.
Now you're in the ground, Mark.
You could be in ashes. I don't know. But anyway,
regardless, you're gone.
Then it's reset.
Yeah, it should reset.
That's what I agree.
That's the way. That's the way it.
Changes.
Because that's the way it is.
Yeah, when the vested interest of the trust changes
Because
because no longer would John
You
Doe
You
of
don't
the
send
trust.
the tax
He's done
information.
passed away.
When you
He's
assess the
Are we
property,
talking about a trust or are we talking about something different? Because the trust is an entity unto its own.
See, that's what I was saying.
That- a
That's
trust
what I
is-
was saying.
yeah.
That it doesn't
But a
matter.
trust can't apply for the senior tax.
Forgot
freeze.
she
The
had me.
applicant has to.
Not
cards for all of us.
Because the trust can't meet the qualifications of being 62.
I reckon
Or else everybody
came
can have
in.
tax.
Exactly.
Everybody can have tax freeze. So somebody within that trust.
But see,
vested
the trust,
interest resides in
hey,
that house
once
and
that
it's
person's dead, he's out of the trust. Just like when my mom, hey, and really, that was redone whenever that happened because Dad, he passed away. And then my mother's. But she's the one that has to apply. And now, then you start out, and if she wasn't eligible for, we shouldn't have granted it to her. If she was 62, you couldn't let
Unless
her
she,
apply.
unless she obviously
Unless she comes in and applies when both of them are there that
I mean,
year.
that's one of the reasons. So we have all the information that we encouraged everybody to, even if their spouse was not 62, to go ahead and sign up. So we had birth dates. We had.
I don't know that everybody encouraged that.
Well, we did because
I'm just saying.
I wanted all the information. I'd rather have too much information than not enough.
But you,
No, definitely.
you
It's not my
also
view.
was not taking the majority of the applications.
True. We only took about a third of them.
Right.
So, I mean, all of this is really up to whatever it is y'all want to do. But you gotta pick one thing and do it, and you gotta stick with it. You can't keep changing it because
And it has
this is
to apply to everybody.
this is another software change that is fairly massive.
Well, that's why I was saying you take your 3 rules that you guys created. Those are the rules. You can always change them, but those are the rules. Age, living in it, and what's the other one?
Vested interest,
Vested interest.
equitable interest, whatever.
It doesn't matter if the vested interest, the person who was eligible and lived in it and had a vested interest in it dies, and there's somebody else or some entity like a trust behind that, it doesn't matter. They have to reapply because that person who met all 3 criteria is gone.
The trust didn't apply, the applicant applied.
Now, if
On behalf
that's
of
what
the
happened to
trust.
me, because when I first applied, I found out, much to my chagrin, I don't know how I missed it. My wife wasn't on the deed to my house, so I went and changed that so that when I die, she continues with the exemption because she's on the deed. But I missed the 24 because I made a change, and that's all I'm saying. If you stick to those 3 rules and identify who it is. Like in the trust is a little trickier, but that would be the vested
See-
interest. How did that trust qualify?
Then actually you're saying the trust, once the trust's there, then it will never change unless everybody's dead out of the trust.
Mm-mm.
Well, hey, if he dies,
If I die, the trust still goes.
But
If
the
she
trust
dies,
didn't, you have to be an applicant to apply for it.
On
The
behalf
trust
That's what
can't
I'm
be
saying.
62 or older. The trust
Yeah.
can't be a resident.
Trust
but
not.
see, you're
Trust
the
isn't
one that
applying,
applied
you're
for it.
applying.
That's what I'm saying. And once you're
That's it.
gone, you're out of the picture. Then whoever's in that place has to step in. Either they're going to be eligible or they're not going to be eligible.
Now, if your wife was part of that trust and was eligible, both of you at the time of application,
Then
and
Then it's
you
fine.
died,
But if she wasn't, then
Isn't that the whole
her
question?
date will come up when she's
according,
62.
according to your rules, so I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
that's right.
stick with those.
Because you can't say the trust is running it, because then, hell, if he dies, next year his wife dies, oh, and the kids say, well, leave a trust. In fact, we just closed ours, one of them out, just this last year. Well, that's what I've done, because then we redone it, and it has to be done. But otherwise, it's still under the trust name. But somebody's got to pay taxes on it.
I don't know where you took
In
the
fact, I have a
trust.
beneficiary trust with my daughter on it, so that if both of us die, she inherits it. Then she just needs to be old enough to move here, and she would maintain the tax rate.
So you just did you did a beneficiary trust or beneficiary deed?
Deed. I'm sorry. Yeah, beneficiary.
Okay, well
deed.
that's a name change. That's easy.
Of course, she wouldn't
That's
qualify
easy.
because of her age, and right now she's not living there, so
But she could,
she could.
if you were 84 years old and your daughter was 60,
Yep.
and you turned 86 and both of you died and your daughter turned 62 in that, she's still getting your
The only
2024.
problem there is we didn't
This
have
is 30 years later. I mean,
That's my question. I mean, where do you put
But
a
I mean, I see what you're
Well, I tell
saying.
you what,
Timing
I
is
think if you just
Mark, make sure you know when you're going to die. I mean, you've died 4 times
Scott,
yesterday.
when mine, I
it
changed
answers the
mine,
question.
and I already had I had my trust there, and all we done was just change and added the. No, we had our names was on it, and just added the trust, just a name change what it was, but still refiling.
Now see that's a whole different deal, and that's your rule. That's not mine, because I don't think that that's right. As long as the equitable interest didn't change,
Yeah.
whether it's goes to a trust or not, or you add a spouse. What if somebody gets remarried and they add a spouse at 86 years old? That shouldn't reset the gentleman all the way back to a brand new thing because he got remarried at 86.
No, because he's still
'Cause
alive.
he's still alive.
He's still alive. But
But
if he passes away, then
it
it's a
doesn't
restart.
matter. Then we're saying if that deed changes and she gets added, then that locks him out. Period.
Yeah,
because it's
that's
a
true.
change?
And that should
That's the rule they
that's
set.
the rule that they set up, and I don't think that that's right.
A change is a
And just because you're trying to protect your assets and you put it into a trust and it's still
Yeah.
the same people, that should not.
A
That's
lot of
not a. That's
people
not
done
an
that.
equitable interest change. That is just a name change. People do. If my parents were to sell off 3 acres or buy 3 acres and add to it, it changes the deed. That's not an equitable interest change. It doesn't change any of the other stuff, but it changes. It kicks them out, and they lose their 24, and they go up to whatever year they add acreage or take away acreage or whatever. And that's not what this was set up for. I mean, that's just I mean that's how we're applying it, but that's not the way it should be.
Okay.
That does make. I mean, I agree because if you add somebody, you got divorced,
I'd be in for that.
and then you got remarried.
Or just getting divorced will do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would do.
I would say there
And
needs to
hence,
be a
this is why the
stipulation that
state
as
Missouri
non
kicks it down to everybody.
not
If you get a
financial
divorce,
change, it's
she's
just
going to
removing.
take it all in.
Or
Yeah.
adding-
Some
Don't worry about it.
for every instance
Yeah.
that's ever going to be out there.
Well, I
It's
just
never
think
going to be
as
passed.
long as
by
there's
either
not
way.
as long
Because
as it's not
every
an
scenario
equitable
is gonna be
interest change. I mean, you can't write a rule that's going to apply to everything, but you have to be able to use your common sense. I mean, and common sense isn't. I already know that.
Oh, that's
I have it. I have a question though with your equitable interest. Just a circumstance, hypothetically, Bruce was the only one on his deed. His wife did not have an equitable interest in that deed.
True.
Now his wife has been added to that deed. She now has an equitable interest in that deed. So that changed
Well,
equitable interest.
but whether she qualifies for that tax thing is based on her age anyway.
She was of age.
She was of age, so I mean,
and she lived there.
But he qualified for 24, but because he made that change, it kicked him out to
And
25. Even though in 24 she was still eligible, she just wasn't on the deed.
So she had no equitable interest.
But
Even though she technically.
But again, I don't
It's
think
because I filed before I realized that.
We understand.
But I don't. I mean,
But just using that as a circumstance.
I mean, every
the
circumstance
spirit
can be
of that,
different.
Exactly.
the whole Senate Bill 190 is to freeze it for those who are eligible, and you know if that's the guiding principle. Then in this particular case, and as much as I hate to say it because it's Bruce, I mean I think that shouldn't change the fact or the baseline as long as she qualified, he qualified. I mean it
Then to throw another monkey wrench in, we went and bought that half lot
that's
late in the year and expanded the size of our property.
And,
Which
and this is
changed the
again
deed.
what I'm saying. It changes the deed, and now it kicks him out too. I mean, even if he was in, it kicks him out because he added a little bit more property to it. That shouldn't do it either. And technically, what a lot of these people are seeing, we have a whole stack of them of people who have added on a room or added on a this or added a shed or done something. That technically, according to the rules that we currently have,
kicks them out.
But that should not be. I mean, just because they added something.
Well, just
I mean, if they added on more than 50% of their house, or they added a huge, only the part that they added should be not frozen, not the initial
Well,
stuff.
that's the state statutes. It makes that clear enough. They're only going to get extra tax on that extra part, not the original.
You got what the statute says and what the rules say are two different things.
You gotta follow statute over rule.
Yeah, well, the statute would guide the rulemaking.
I don't know. I mean, it's just lots of stuff, but I would hope and really hope that going forward that we would take a lot of these things and make, if we're going to change anything, make one change instead of a drip.
That's the way I.
Drip of
Go through
changes.
the whole year and get that under your belt, and then make a whole new list. Make a list, debate it, question it, talk about it, and then just do one revision.
This is the problem with the legislature is involved. I mean, they're not clear, and every county does it different.
That's wow.
Consequences.
I know you may not like it. We probably have to have that.
And then no bags on top of it. Any more rumblings at Jeff City?
Well, there's
Variances.
That's
Variances.
And every time that Rick and I look at this again, just looking at it again today, and when we had our little Zoom meeting with the software developer, I mean, there's more unintended consequences that we came up with even then that we haven't even touched on. But we have to get our stuff together. I mean, I can't even articulate it well enough for y'all to even contemplate what you want to do. I mean, we've got to get together and talk about some of these instances. Now, it's just going to be interesting.
In our rules, it says if the value increased 50% or more. That's in the rules.
Okay.
So a porch or a carport isn't going to increase your assessed valuation 50%.
You got the rules up? And I'm good with that.
Got her glasses on.
Those look pretty on you.
Yeah, cute.
And that's the ordinance that they originally passed. Because I thought you guys protected yourself already for that. Because you said you didn't want to have to do every time somebody laid concrete on their front step or.
This could all be taken care of if we just go with the most recent resale value of the house as your cost basis.
There's just so many variables. It's just insane. And nobody did it the same.
So according to that,
That thing is gonna wax the
so
site.
according to that, just so we're clear, if we're talking about non-commercial ancillary structures, which is fine, then $1 million chicken houses will not be exempt. Or they will be subject to the tax freeze. Because they are ag.
But they're not homesteads.
They shouldn't be ag though.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, but if they're, hey,
Let
if
me
they're
ask
on,
you a question. How can they be ag when some of them are publicly traded on the market? I mean, how does that work?
That's not
Well,
what
they're
the
not
definition.
homesteads.
I mean, it's just like lumber mills. They're ag.
See, even that doesn't make sense.
no,
I mean, I'm just going to tell you.
But I mean, this is the thing that this is the stuff that we run into all the time.
They have a good lobby.
So apparently.
So, and I'm not just picking them up, but there's all kinds of things like that. It's just like the farmer that has, if all of their huge farm operation is on the 5 acres, it's exempt from any kind of increase. I mean, so we're going to have to go back and change a lot of things.
Seems like you should prorate that. Kind of like office in a home. You can deduct that portion of your home that's used exclusively for an
Well, I
office,
think
but not
that
the
was
whole
questioned
house.
when they were writing this ordinance. Are we including those businesses that were on that 5 acre? I mean, I remember that whole conversation going on.
Yeah,
So you can't have a chicken barn on 5 acres.
that portion should
That
be
wouldn't,
not in the
You
freeze.
can't own a chicken barn on 5 acres?
no, I said you wouldn't. A chicken barn wouldn't fit on 5
it wouldn't fit on, it wouldn't fit the house and
Yeah.
that big a chicken barn running the 7 5 acres right there.
And
But they don't live that close to
I
it.
guess it all depends on how you go out the 5 acres. If it's long and
Got
skinny.
a point there.
I mean,
They'll always be out.
look, and again,
Give me a long
and I'm not,
skinny.
I'm not, and I'm not, that's just the easiest, most quickly identifiable thing, but
Yeah.
we run into a lot of those. It's like, I mean, I don't want another gentleman up in, that has a lot of heavy equipment up north. All of that's non-commercial. So all of that gets changed,
Really? Yeah, well, that's it.
and that's all in 5 acres,
How is it non-commercial?
because it's all ag.
And what's the determination for ag and against
Because he uses it
non-commercial?
on the farm.
Because he uses it on the farm? But if
And
he
he
uses it on
has no
anything
commercial
else?
exposure. I mean, he doesn't go do stuff for other people. He does it for himself.
Remember the variances we was talking about earlier, that there's no
I see what
good,
it's talking about.
there's no good one answer?
Well, we had that same deal on some lots right here in town. As long as they bail them, they're ag.
Correct.
True
And that,
story.
and that went to the state tax
That-
commission.
And that happened. And we fought it and
Yeah.
lost.
That is true.
Well, it's just like
And we did.
it's just like the old Holiday Inn, that whole area. That's all ag.
Yeah.
Part of it is the what?
Very small portion of it, as much as I could do away with. But I mean, and that's why they bail it.
Well, we just looked at,
Yeah, if you
Kearney's,
Hey,
it's A1.
no, I'll tell you what,
There's
look at it.
Yeah,
That's
so if
why,
you
just
look
like Kent Cable and them out there behind the Mexican place, all that in there, when that wasn't built and still lotted off, that's when we said, no, you had lots here. You're selling for $40,000, $50,000. Well, no, they're ag because he went out and bailed it that year. Had a picture of the bales. What do you think the state done?
it's A1
He's right.
on the map
That's
that we
ag.
pulled up for zoning. It's A1.
That happened.
It's A1.
I was-
That's probably why they don't use
I went down and said,
finishing away
yeah,
with the
court.
brush
Hey, I
off.
said, listen to what the judge said. He said, no,
It's just
that's
like
ag.
maybe somebody's house that has some livestock that lives in the city. It's now zoned R1, but it's
By chance.
grandfathered into ag. So it's just a lot of nuances that people, even we don't even think about it.
What's your place?
Well, you don't until it happens and you're like, Ah,
And
now what do we do with that?
you are in the city, right? And what's the zone?
Most of mine ends up commercial.
Well, it's
A1, right?
it's R1.
Can't be. No poultry.
Well, it's except that it was ag. I mean,
It
it
must
was
be A1, do you think?
yeah,
2,000 square foot,
200,000.
minimum lot size. Yeah, 200,000 square foot, which I think that would be, what's that, 5 acres, I think.
This is a deep subject.
Just a lot of things. And there's more to come up every day as we look at this stuff.
It change. It's a living, breathing thing. It changes every day.
But it's going to be it's going to be quite a job, and that's why we're already spending a huge amount of time on our office to go out and look at these places, because it's a lot, because it is the 5 acres, it is the ancillary structures, it is whether it's non-commercial, and then we have to look at all of that stuff. So I mean, which is why we're burning up a ton of fuel. Like total. But that's all Kelly. She'll find the money
You still
somewhere.
be burning up the fuel. You're just going to put the mileage on your own car. If you had a vehicle.
I do, but I mean,
It's still going to cost.
it costs me 70 cents a mile.
Well, that car you buy, that truck you buy, it's going to cost you 70 cents a mile. That's where they get those numbers from.
Yeah, I know that's where they get it.
There's no labor involved. Labor will put you over a buck.
Well, 70 cents a mile.
If you drive a truck,
I look
you're
at
going to be charging
what
well
my,
over
I
$1.
even look at what the blue truck is. We usually get it done for about 40 cents a mile. So it's costing me 30 cents extra a mile just to have somebody do it. So I mean, it's probably
So depreciation, bigger repairs and gas, you can do it for 40.
but I mean, we don't. It's kind of the economies of scale. I mean, we don't have to pay tax. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that we don't do as an entity.
Well, y'all have some conversations while you're at Seaham. Just kind of throw those around with some of the people and see.
And you'll have 100 different answers.
Well, you will.
I was just thinking.
Maybe we'll be able to
You
get
will,
that figured
but
out.
maybe
Maybe we'll have that one
I think we need to try to simplify the
Everybody's
stuff the best we can, because
That's what was talked about.
You can't even ask the counties that join us, because they're all
No, they're different. Just
I
like
told you what Cass County is.
We get compared to Cass County all the time, but people don't realize that Cass County can afford to do that.
And then whatever.
They have a huge sales tax base
Yeah.
that we don't have.
well, that's what they told
I'm
me.
with you. Yeah,
No.
let it
See, that's what people don't
hash it
understand.
out.
The differences in the counties.
Oh yeah, a lot of difference.
Yeah.
So now there's more questions.
Now Bates County,
Yes.
see, Bates County only abated the sales tax that they're in charge.
Sale prices.
No, the
I
property
agree.
tax.
The tax
The
basis
property
that you
tax.
multiply by
So they didn't
1/3.
freeze any of the
And if they live
schools,
in
the
Virginia,
townships,
it's still
nothing.
back there.
They
Just-
only froze the county tax.
County tax and our senior citizens.
The realtor law
Right.
is not allowed.
That's only two we're really in charge
And
of.
I don't even know why.
And so you first see.
We froze everything.
Yeah, we
Do
froze
stuff,
everything.
buy a house knowing
And if
that
they
We come
want
back,
to
we're going to adjourn.
property tax is better.
You're just gonna adjourn.
Well, he looks like he's on a mission.
We kept waiting for the lawsuit to come through somewhere else, and it's not happening because nobody wants to take it away from the senior citizens. So
I don't blame you.
I don't see that. I don't either, but I just don't see the big, it'll change because of lawsuit. So it's been
No.
time enough that
You'd have to
that's
get
not
class
happening.
action to afford
Right.
legal.
Schools will be the ones that'll hang them.
That's what they kept saying, but they've had plenty of time and they're not.
I thought they said there was a school did have a lawsuit out there, but
Yeah.
I don't remember where.
Yeah, there's some out
I
there.
know there are some on Senate Bill 3, but I don't know how many's hanging out there on Senate Bill 190.
Well, on the 3 is because they're treating different counties differently.
Right,
That's the issue there.
right.
And that's, I think that's where there's not that clarity of in this bill, this is what can be froze.
No,
Right, there was no instruction.
There was no
Just do
instruction.
it.
It's correct. There was no, you can only freeze county, you can't freeze all of it,
Right.
you know.
Well,
Yeah.
it
And like I
depends on
said,
the
different
size
counties
of
are
the
freezing different things, so then that's an unequal, it's not a level playing field across the state. It should have basically in that bill somewhere, probably should have been, you can only freeze this tax in this tax.
Like state statutes usually lay out that you can only
Right,
do
you can
this
only-
or this, and they did not do that. Yeah, you're right. It was
Open.
Well, like a workshop. We do need that, but it might be easier if we're gonna have a work session to be down there so you can look at the screens that we're looking at. 'Cause I can't bring those up here.
Yeah, either place, but at least that.
But because I have the
way
big
we've got
screen, I mean, I can show you the whole process and what we're looking at, and now that we've just got that tied down, probably by next week, we'll have all of the applications, all the renewals, all of everything, and then you can look at the workflow, because it's gonna come into them and to us, and then they do their thing, then it puts it in a queue for us, then we do our thing, and then it puts it in a queue for you guys. You can do what you want to. But it's all lined out. I'm very, very impressed with what they came up with. I mean, they answered a lot of questions that we didn't even know about yet. They had solutions.
What's the cost of that software? You think? Huh?
You don't.
Well,
I don't know.
they were tossing 60,000 for that a couple years ago.
I would say that probably pretty fair.
So I think that's
And
kind of what
actually,
you
might,
Guessing.
and
Been
it might
roundabout.
not be quite that bad with that module added onto the other stuff. It's probably going to increase about 5,000.
That's the initial cost of the software.
Yes.
Then you've got the-
May I make a
Yeah,
motion?
you got the yearly maintenance cost too. Plus,
But it's,
you know, every time we
it's
change something, I don't know how easy it is.
I know, but I was waiting for you to say that.
it's not easy.
I don't want to be rude, but I'm.
That's going to have to probably go
Giles,
through the programmer said
It is.
I'll
to
second it.
fix our
Motion been
system.
made, second turn, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Well, that's where
They did. They
ending the meeting.
We're done.
Christian County, which is just south of Springfield, which is really nice.
I don't feel like
They have
we've gained
65
one item.
tax freezes in that county, and it's running very seamless. Luckily, the vendor that we had do the renewal forms, and it's a happy happenstance that they used a QR code to track
I don't know
their
how.
postage and stuff,
Hand it down to
the mailing address, but it also has the parcel number. So even though they would use Ulrich is the vendor, they did utilize the QR code from Rice, the company that they use, and they're able to pull all the data, and we're able to use that QR code that they accidentally put on there and pull all the data for the review. So it's and they're going to have an online portal. I mean, it's going to have a QR code that the people who are getting to that age, they can just scan it with their phone, and they can do the whole renewal right there on their phone, send it in, and there's no paper, no nothing. They can do it online. They can do it by Crummy. They can do it just about any which way. And it logs timestamps, and it does it every single step of the way, and it's got it all. And then it also anything that we scan in, it pulls that in there, so they don't have to have a physical file anymore because everything's scanned.
Oh, yeah, I went to all electronic files in my business years ago. I didn't have any paper. I mean, initially, did I scan it through the paper?
Well, that's what we do. Because I mean, as long as it's backed up in multiple places, and ours is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of 6 file cabinets with the hanging files, I went down to a hard drive.
Well, I think that we pay 50.
Please tell me this is it.
Orange does it.
Oh my
We pay
goodness.
The caves around Springfield
My minutes disappeared from today.
for years.
I had to go do a recovery. Who made the motion to end session?
Second. You're okay.
I mean, we have a server.
You have to hear me when I say.
On it now.